Alrighty, everyone. Hello, everyone. Tactical Edge here, and welcome back to another Wednesday Faction Wars. Yes, we are back to a regular Faction Wars this week after last week's Greenskin October Slugfest of a tournament. Yeah, we are back to a regular Faction Wars where players will be going with a for fun, hopefully for fun army build. Maybe not, I don't know. But yeah, let's, hopefully players won't be going too try hard against each other, and we'll be seeing some fun games today. I totally forgot to drop some self-promotion on other Discords. I should actually do that while they're still loading in. But yeah, right here we have on the Skaven side, we have Contrarian Codex, and on... Wait, is that Contrarian Codex? No, Anti-Kaiju on the Skaven side, I think. And Contrarian Codex with Slaanesh. Let me just quickly load up Discord. Not Discord challenge and check. No, Anti-Kaiju going Slaanesh and Contrarian Codex going Skaven. Interesting. I thought whoever set up the lobby would be on top, but no, it seems to be different this time. But yeah, we are gonna go for the regular faction wars today. And I am quickly sharing my stream and do some self-promotion over it everywhere. Yep. While both players are still waiting to load in, we'll sneak off and have some time for to do some self-promotion. Hey, oh wait, no, players have loaded in. Okay, fine. Let me just very quickly find the self-promotion. Maybe not actually. I can't find it. Too many channels. Oh well. Anyways, there we go. There we go. Yeah. Right. Self-promotion done. Let's get to the army builds. Hello, Looming. Nice to see you here. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, we are gonna check out the Skaven versus Slaanesh battle here. Skaven is quite strong lately with the Storm Vermin buffs, and I would probably expect more Storm Vermin on the field. No, Ashen Triads. Interesting. Okay, so for the Skaven army build, front line of Skaven slaves with a second line of Ashen Triads. Now, Slaanesh can't actually see these Ashen Triads because they do have a stalking ability. They are from Clan Ashen after all. They are specialized in sneaking. So yeah, Ashen Triads actually stalking away, hiding in plain sight. While the Night Runners, these are Gutter Runners, slightly more elite skirmishers of the Skaven army. Will be providing some missile fire, and also Red Ogres guarding the backline, providing some massive mobility. Very standard stuff for Skaven. Avalanche mortars in the middle, and leading the army, it should be a Gracier. Oh no, Lord Skrok himself, the mightiest of great Plague Monk. Plague with the Plague spell and Vermintide summon. On the other side for the Slaanesh army build, Chaos Furies in the skies and Hellstriders ready to flank around in front line of devoted Marauders of Slaanesh, and more Hellstriders plus a regiment of renowned Keepers of Secrets, the Marquis of Masochism. Though the Avalanche Mortar is already deleting some of the devoted Marauders, while Azazel pushing up, not having any missiles specifically targeting him, since the only thing that can kind of shoot him are the Gutter Runners, and they are not exactly the most effective single entity targeting unit. Now, on the far side there, devoted Marauders, some of them are being broken off by the Avalanche shots. The Furies really need to get in soon and start dropping onto those mortars. Hellstriders charging into the back line, but seems to be swarmed by Red Ogres and Gutter Runners, and quickly getting dispatched, while Marquis of Masochism taking a lot of damage over here, being surrounded by Ashen Triads. Ashen Triads actually have pretty decent melee attack stats for a halberd unit, for a Guandao unit. So even after the melee debuff from the Glamour of Slaanesh, the Marquis of Masochism's debuff. They still have enough melee stats plus the anti-large to just chop her down. But yeah, anyways, the Slaanesh Furies are trying to dive onto the back line there. Actually but routed off the Avalanche Mortars. The problem is that they themselves have been finished off instead, while the Marauders are still trying to push. But I feel like this build is a little bit too narrow. There are some Fiends, actually. They're trying to run into the back there. But right now, the Wolf Rats are tying them down while the Gutter Runners will be poking off their hit points. Over here, Lord Stroke dueling Azazel. Not exactly a fight he wants to be in. He needs to get out of there ASAP. At least the Night Runner is here. Can probably help screen. Nope. Lord Stroke is punching back. He is not going down without a fight. Plus the Gutter Runners, Night Runners shooting in. Man, Azazel taking so much damage. Actually losing out against Lord Stroke. We also see some Red Ogres in the vicinity pushing back Azazel, and Azazel has lost track of Lord Stroke. Now the Fiends are in the fight in the mix here, but unfortunately they have been chopped up pretty badly, I would say. So yeah, that is gonna be it. That's probably gonna be it for Slaanesh, as the only unit that can probably carry this, the Fiends, are dead. Marquis of Masochism took way too much damage being surrounded by Ashen Triads and being shot by a bunch of Skaven skirmishers. Avalanche Mortars have regrouped and now continues to rain down fire onto these poor Slaanesh Marauders. Marquis of Masochism trying to go for a Lord Stroke snipe, getting a good hit in. Another Fiend slams into the back here, but there's just so many Skavens left on the field, and Hell's Riders just haven't been doing much in battle today. Marquis of Masochism continues to go for that Lord Snipe. If they can go for the Lord Snipe, they might still have a chance and get a mass break off the Skaven army, but the balance of power is suggesting otherwise in terms of the flow of combat, in terms of how the battle will head. As Lord Stroke got knocked out of the blob there, while Marquis of Masochism still being pinned down by Red Ogres. So Marquis of Masochism can't probably catch up to Lord Stroke, but Azazel is in the fight, getting some good hits onto Stroke. Maybe he can. Yep, he managed to slay Lord Stroke right then and there. Now Skavens, a lot of them should receive a pretty big leadership penalty, though I don't know if Slaanesh still have enough juice to rhyme through so many Skavens. Another whip, the Lash of Slaanesh from Azazel. They're trying to thin out some of that Skaven support, but alas, that is just too much here. The Exalted Keeper of the Regiment of Renown, Keeper of Secrets, and Azazel just couldn't really take this kind of grind fight, as they are a little bit too fragile, and that shall be victory to the Skavens. Clan Vulcan. Oh, interesting, and a volcano-themed Skaven clan. But Clan Vulcan of Contrarian Codex here. Anti-Kaiju is Slaanesh. But yeah, Contrarian Codex manages to secure the win here, as Azazel, Marquis of Masochism, unfortunately wasn't quite able to earn back its worth. The Fiends as well. In this matchup, perhaps, I would say, but of course the players probably already know it, but I assume Anti-Kaiju is just taking this army build for the lols. But yeah, in this matchup, definitely you would want to bring Chaos Spawn, since they are unbreakable, really good damage dealers, and they're monstrous infantry with good splash damage that Skavens usually struggle to deal with. Especially the Skaven infantry will quickly brick it against the rush of a Chaos Spawn spam. But yeah, overall, Avalanche Mortars deleting a lot of units. The Gutter Runners did a lot of damage to, I think this is the one that managed to shoot Azazel while Azazel was dueling Lord Stroke. So get a lot of value. The Red Ogres also securing the backline. Really nice stuff there. And yeah, GG to both players, and it's time for me to go. No, the host kicked me from the game. No. To be fair, I'm supposed to join in on the next fight. I like the Marquis here because he heals on low morale. Yeah, that makes sense actually. I never see people bring the Marquis of Masochism, so I don't actually know much about what he does in battle, but that makes sense. But against Skaven missiles, that might just be too much of a risk. I feel like Keeper of Secrets doesn't have the best mass to push through troops, and they get stuck a little bit more often than maybe other other large single entity monsters, which just doesn't help. Let's see if Contrarian Codex is still in there. If not, we'll have to probably pop on over and see. Yep, Contrarian's Codex is still there, so we are popping up our Dwarf army here. I don't want to go Hero Hammer today, so I'm not gonna go Hero Hammer. I will bring a mass. I think I'm just gonna bring what I usually bring against Skaven. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that actually. I don't. Definitely not a good idea actually. I was contemplating for a second there. Should I or should I not bring? Yeah. Should I or should I not bring the Norgrimlings? Probably not. Probably not. And Skavens, I could probably bring a couple of these. Yeah. Maybe this. Now, if my opponent decided to, oh, actually, real slowness, and let us just bring another Master Engineer, and then get a Flesh Bomb and be done. I think we can bring two slowing abilities. So, yeah, Flesh Bomb and slowness is like one Flesh Bomb and one slowness is what you can bring max, anyways. Actually, you know what? We can bring Grombry. And yeah, Grombry, and then let's just get a Master Engineer, Flash Bomb, and a Fiery Thing of Thori, and then that should be good. Oh yeah, let's just bring that just for the discourage effect. We have a bunch of we are almost out of funds then. Okay, cool. We are done. Let's go. I think that's what we can bring, right? Right. Whatever. Oh, hold on. Nah, actually, I'll just bring in these couple. Hold on. Yeah, I can bring these. But I can't bring another ranger. That's annoying. Alright, fine. Yeah, I'll just do that and then take another ranger. Yeah, I think that should be it. Doomseekers, let's go. Doomseeker, let's go indeed. But I think my opponent might prepare for that. Contrarian Codex is a pretty good player, and he might see that coming. Whatever. If I'm going Doomseeker, it's a YOLO time anyways. Doesn't really matter. But yeah, no. I mean, Contrarian Codex have seen me play Doomseekers on stream before, so he might have expected that coming. At least I'm not going Hero Hammer, I guess. I mean, I'm kind of Hero Hammering, but I also kind of am not. So, you know. Yeah, just try not to bring too much cheese. I'm not, yeah. Anyways, we are on this pleasure field. Pleasure's Reach, I think that's what the map called. Coolest unit of the DLC, in my opinion, for sure. I think art-wise, the best art piece in the DLC is probably still the Thunderbarge, just because it's such a massive centerpiece of a DLC that you can't not pay attention to it. But like unit-wise, I think the most fun unit, the unit with the most fun overall fun factor is definitely oh shit, I brought 2 flash bombs. Alright, fine. In that case, I will give me a second, just quickly. Alright, I'll just put the engineer at the far corner and don't touch him, I suppose. Alright, so we are down like 800 funds or something. Which, well, not great, but whatever. We go. Okay, my opponent was, it's fine as long as I don't use the flash bomb. Or I can just use 2 flash bombs at once, which can't. Alright, I'll try not to misclick the flash bomb. If I accidentally do it, then I'll just give my opponent the win. Simple. But yeah. Alright, cool. We go. Because I really want to use the Fiery Ring of Thori. I didn't bring the ammo charge. That was a dumb thing I did. But yeah. I shouldn't have brought the flash bomb. I should have brought the ammo refill. That should have been the play here. Anyways, too late to think about that now. Let's just rush, baby, rush. All right, let's rush. Yeah, shit. There's already like kiting units. Not great. We're getting shot. Not great. Just what is Elves, and try to get those exploding charges in ASAP. Oh, the damage. So insane. Yeah, actually we can just go there and start shooting. Just rush. Wow, damn, it also damaged a lot. Oh wow, what the fuck? It did so much damage to my units. Oh, alright, at least we're getting some of the explosions out. Alright, we charge. Wait, what was? Oh, 90 boobles. That was why. That was probably why. Okay, that makes sense. My God, the damage. They took so much damage from those. Yeah. The warp stones grow. Damn it. Yeah. All right, we charge. Dowie, we charge. All right, cool. I didn't expect avalanche mortars to do so much damage against the slayers, honestly. Alright, just keep taking them down and slow them down and start shooting and oh, wow, that's not great. One of the oh, yeah, we pretty much butchered the rush there. Oh, not much to do other than flee now. Getting counter rushed to death. Maybe I should have scattered my units a bit more, but yeah. Yeah, I didn't expect the avalanche mortars to do so much damage to some of my slayers. Some damage, firing Ring of Thori. Not a lot though. Okay, cool. Damn, what the? That's so much damage. You're supposed to be. I guess it's supposed to be anti-infantry and all, but I didn't expect them to do so much damage. My God. All right, let's spin. It doesn't do much damage, unless you get really good contact with the enemy units. How much damage did it get? Almost 3k gold worth of damage value. Holy shit. I mean, I probably should have just got more. I mean, we need to shut them down at least. Yeah, it's pretty heinous. Heinous damage for sure. All right. For some reason, these guys are still fighting, which is, I guess, fine for me. But balance of power is dropping into army losses territory soon. Right, we pretty much butchered our rush, so we deserved that loss for sure. But we will still fight till the end and see what happens. Right, come on, shoot. Bastard, shoot. One. Go. Ah, man, they scattered. Alright, cool. Done. Grombrindle is still holding on, which is quite impressive, to say the least. But, yeah, my Slayers. Oh, man, that Avalanche Mortar deleted my Doomseekers. My god. I was not expecting them to go down so fast. Those mortars, man. I thought for a second that Skaven was Corn. Yeah, that is a Clan Vulcan. Apparently, that's a Clan Vulcan thing. Am I running? Unbreakable for a bit. Keep fighting. We fight till the end. We are the Doomseekers. We seek doom. Kill every one of us. Come on. Yeah. No, I think we should just. Yeah, I'm just gonna go and kill the Avalanche Mortars and then I'm gonna throw the game. Come on, just catch up. We need to avenge the fallen Doomseekers. Kill the unit and then I'll throw the towel. Come on, just kill the unit. Come on. All right, once they break, we forfeit. Once they break, we forfeit. We got hit by army losses anyways. Come on, just kill them. All right. Come on, any second. All right, cool. Concede defeat. Yeah, there we go. My god, that Avalanche Mortar! Was that like 2,854 gold worth of damage value? One of the Doomseeker earned back their value. That was the one that managed to survive to the end. The other two, not so much. Getting absolutely nuked by various volleys of the Avalanche Mortars. Holy shit, that was so much damage. The Rangers didn't got much damage done because the minor front line got obliterated by the Avalanche Mortar, and then the Skavens just tied them down with red ogres and stuff and whatnot, so they didn't really get a chance to shoot. I was trying to push up the gyrocopters to disrupt the enemy weapons teams, but then got fired back with Natty Bubos, and yeah, they got pushed up early. Definitely needed to micro them a bit better. Yeah, that was definitely not a good micro of the gyrocopters there. Probably. Perhaps I should have just switched over to artillery, maybe. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Like if I switch, oh shit, sorry. If I switch the gyrocopters into cannons, the wolf rats will quickly deal with them. Maybe I should just go full Slayer frontline. Maybe I should just go for a full Slayer rush. Who knows? But yeah, that is gonna be GGE for our run of the faction wars. I was trying to get some more games with Doomseekers, so that's why I was picking Dowie. But I also don't want to keep using Dragon Slayer to carry my game. So Grombry and the Master Engineer, I don't know. Obviously, it was not enough to carry the game. Contrarian Codex versus XMT's Ronin on the next game. So I'm. Alright, let me just quickly ask Contrarian Codex to set up a spectator slot. Because on the other side, the other bracket, Borain is still waiting for their opponent. Either Barbagiani of Wood Elves or Stormrunner of Dark Elves. We shall see. But yeah. I'm also trying to make a bit of a unit focus video for Doomseekers because I just really love the unit. But yeah, we shall see what happens there because I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been spending the most time playing Total Warhammer lately. I mentioned this a little bit before on stream, but yeah, I'm just spending a lot of time trying to paint my Custodes army for Warhammer 40k. And now I'm like, the problem with Custodes is it's like this super duper elite bodyguards of the Emperor, the God Emperor, and then they have very very ornate armor, a lot of decorations, because well, they are supposed to be like one of the strongest military forces, most elite unit in the entire Imperium. And though now normally I can probably just paint everything in gold, dry brush them, or just quickly do something with silver and call it a day. But because I try to go for a black armor painting scheme, I need to hand paint gold onto every single ornament. Because underneath it's just black, and I can't just cover everything in gold and call it a day. And yeah, it's rough, man. It's rough. I'm spending way too much time painting each individual model right now. And yeah, it's just been sucking away all my time. But yeah, other than that, yeah, yeah, which is why I'm just not playing that much Total War Warhammer lately. Plus, on top of that, there's just not much change in the meta, and there's not much stuff that excites me recently, other than occasional meme events I post and all that. But yeah, I still want to get some games on every week, which is why I'm hosting the Wednesday Faction Wars tournament. Also, just it would be nice to just get people together and play a bit of games once in a while, and not having to worry about the Thunderbarch spams on the ranked ladder. So yeah, here we are streaming every week. Yeah, hello Dreaded Saurian, nice to see you here again. But yeah, welcome everyone. Autumn-chan, mortars are like the Skaven's biggest damage dealer. Yes, that is indeed the case. I just wasn't expecting the mortars to do so much damage to the Doomseekers. If I knew that was the case, I'll probably try to deploy some units behind Skavens, and so they won't be shot immediately by, well, everything. Everything from the Skaven avalanche mortars. That was a really rough game with the avalanche mortars there. I was really not expecting. But yeah, Skavens once again, thankfully Contrarian knew what to do. Yeah, Sipa, do you hate the Dowie that much? At least you get to see the Dowies getting slaughtered, so I feel like you shouldn't be skipping the last game. Yeah. But yeah, we are seeing a Skaven versus Wood Elf battle here. Wood Elves played by Ronin, and let's see what they will bring. I am keeping up the army block up for now. I was thinking of painting some Imperial Guard as well. Taking a break from Total War has been nice. Yeah, it's content creation, especially regular content creation, just takes up so much time and energy. It can be quite draining, and you need time to recover. I personally try to pace myself, so I just don't flood all my time with Total War Warhammer. I don't understand how Human Boy can manage to do it, but he did. Daily uploads, events, etc, etc. Just shit, man. Respect to the guy. I mean, to be fair, I do have to waste more time onto editing videos myself, because after I record, I go through the video and just edit out like the re-record the bloopers myself, so which takes quite a bit of time, and doesn't help with like recording efficiency, editing efficiency, and all that. But yeah, it's just something I have to deal with. Yeah, Dreaded Saurian, we'll do painting Lizardman at the moment. Oh, wait, is it? I assume that has to be the Age of Sigmar stuff, right? Age of Sigmar seems to be really, like, the Age of Sigmar models recently seems to be really vibrant. Like, the colors are very vibrant, and their quality of the sculpt is just really high in terms of like the aesthetic, the pose, and the variety of the models, like, yeah, it's pretty damn cool. I only know 40k and Blood Bowl that uses minis like that. There's also Age of Sigmar, which is the reboot of the Warhammer Fantasy timeline. Because Total Warhammer came from Warhammer Fantasy. Oh, for the old world. Oh, okay. I didn't realize Lizardman for oh, they probably just bust out the old world models from before. But yeah, so basically Warhammer started with Warhammer Fantasy. Yeah, and then they expanded into the 40k universe. But it all started in Warhammer Fantasy, which is the setting we're playing with Total Warhammer. But then they... Man, you need to dive into the Warhammer rabbit hole, dude. But yeah, this is where the Total Warhammer came from, Warhammer Fantasy. I'm jealous that Human Boy can put so much energy into it. Content creating takes so much time and energy. It's fun, of course, but exhausting. Yeah, I got you, man. I got you. Like, I used to do 2 battle recording and 1 short video of random shit, but now I'm down to 2 battle replays and 1 stream every week, which is probably more reasonable because I don't have to invest as much energy to try and figure out something else to talk about every week. Yeah, even just running 20 every 2 months is already a lot of effort for me. Actually, it depends on like how your tournaments are structured. My tournaments are pretty casual, so it's never been like the weekly stuff is very casual, so it's never been that demanding to me. The meme stuff takes more effort because I need to figure out like a rule set. Thankfully, I did hosted quite a few meme tournaments before, and I have a good basis of rule sets that sometimes I can just pull up and copy them. But yeah, it can. I should rejoin the Blood Bowl scene. You should definitely. I feel like it's definitely fun to join like the tabletop scene with the different games available. Also, building a Chaos Dwarf. I mean, shit. How the fuck do you have enough energy to build 2 armies at once? I'm trying to build 1 Custodes army, and it's pretty damn. Yeah, I'm already pretty damn. I'm highlighting my. I want to die from so much highlighting. Like, holy shit, man. The black armor highlighting is pretty damn rough. But yeah, anyways, that's enough for the tabletop stuff. Let's go through the army builds here. Skaven's going for a front line of Clan Rats and some Skaven Slave Spears, and then Netty Booble Sharpshooter, Avalanche Mortars, the classic double weapons teams. Red Ogres defending the back line, and Gutter Runners, plus I think Night Runners? Yeah, Night Runners on the flanks. Wood Elves, a bunch of Wild Riders in the forest, and Dryads are just gonna get nuked by the Avalanche Mortars. One of the, well, this one managed to dodge half the volley, so still relatively in tight instead of straight up deleted like my poor Doom Seekers and Miners. While the Wild Riders, there are some Wild Riders and even some Deepwood Scouts at the back. They are just the regular ones, so no Swift Shiver Shafts, but they do have a little bit more range. Oh, more Avalanche Mortars raining in. The damage on the Dryads is just too much there. But it is indeed a full Vanguard army outside of the Eternal Gods here. So these Dryads are deployed ahead of their own army, ahead of the deployment zone, and can close in a little bit faster. Now, the Skavens did shifted their formation a little bit as they have their right flank facing, like they have their army facing towards the forest because they know that the Wood Elves will try to deploy in the forest and emerge out from there, emerge out from the woods. Very wise choice there. Now the Avalanche Mortars continues to rain down fire on the Dryads as the Dryads are engaging in charging distance and doesn't really have that leisure to pull back and dodge the volley. Wild Riders charging in, trying to work down on that Skaven right flank, doing a lot of impact damage onto the Red Ogres, tearing them down, but they're being countercharged by the Wolf Reds and more Red Ogres coming in. Night Runners, Gutter Runners shooting in as well, chipping away their health, but they will try to hold on and keep dishing out damage to the Skavens as the first of the Skaven Slaves, Red Ogres, and yeah, they are breaking from the sheer shock damage from all the Wild Riders and Dryads, and the Wood Elves might start to flood into the Skaven backline. Really nice flank overload. They're investing a lot of mobility and valor just trying to break through that Skaven right flank, while a lot of the Skaven slaves here and Clan Rats here are still stuck on the left flank and the main side, not really doing much here. Now the Night Runners, Gutter Runners under duress from the Dryads, though one of the Dryads have been routed. Deepwood Scouts are trying to shoot at a kick claw. There's a Forest Dragon. I missed out on that one. Forest Dragon trying to snipe out the Doom Wheel of a kick claw, but unfortunately, oof, another devastating volley from the Avalanche Mortars. Devastating to both infantry and cavalry. And the Wild Riders getting routed by that one volley. Another volley from Avalanche Mortars nuking some Eternal Gods with shields. The shield doesn't really do much against the mortars, I can tell you that much. And the Wood Elves seems to be struggling with their push. Not really. Only one unit of Dryads managed to get into the back line there, and a kick claw might able to try and peel them out, while the Eternal Gods continues to get nuked. Wild Riders on the far side being caught in a group of Knight and Gutter Runners, and then rear charged by the Red Ogres. They're taking a bunch of shock damage, and things are not looking too hot. At least, good news is that Natty Boobles are offline for now, and the Forest Dragon is free to roam around the battlefield, terrorizing some poor Skavens and their Red Ogres. Now the Natty Boobles sharpshooters are turning around, but the Dryads are nearby, so they are still under threat. If the Dryads can just force path and keep pushing at the Natty Boobles, that would be great. But yeah, the very nice use of the Forest Dragon and the Wild Riders shock damage there, crushing the resistance on the right flank of the Skavens here. Nuking, pushing back all these Night Runners, Gutter Runners, and Red Ogres as well. Now the Wild Riders are free to keep pushing. These tattered Wild Riders, tattered as they are, they still have Elvish leadership, slamming into a one last desperate charge against the Natty Boobles sharpshooter, managing to shock their leadership down to wavering territory, and the Forest Dragon closes in, and they will be routed. Same goes for the Avalanche Mortars. At this point, all the Skaven firepower is knocked out outside of a couple Knight and Gutter Runners on the far side. The Deepwood Scouts have been firing the whole time at the back there. Very nice play, just holding these missile fire in reserve, as the Avalanche Mortars are more focused on eliminating the melee infantry there. So the archers are not taking that much damage at the moment, but then the Red Ogres now are slamming in. Hopefully the Dryads can peel them off, but right now the Forest Dragon and the Spellweaver of Beasts are returning to help out and bail the Deepwood Scouts out of that kind of awkward scenario. But without the Forest Dragon in the front line there, it seems that the Wood Elves are once again struggling to break through the sheer number of bodies from the Skaven side. Wolf Rats are fighting in the mix, more Avalanche Mortar shot coming in and blasting these poor Dryads. Over here, a little bit of a Flensing Ruin onto the Forest Dragon. No, the Spellweaver. And I'm doing some pretty good damage to both of these characters. But the Spellweaver does have a little bit of magic spell resistance here. So, managed to tank that direct damage pretty well, I would say, all things considered. And now, the Forest Dragon will be sticking his claws and sharp teeth up the bum of poor Ikit here, just trying to hunt down the Doom Wheel, while the seems like rest of the Skavens are buckling due to their lack of leadership, being pushed back by the Dryads and Wild Riders. Deepwood Scouts are still on the far side, still available to keep firing, and they still have quite a bit of ammo left, unlike the Night Runners and Gutter Runners, who doesn't really have the most ammo. Another miscast of some kind of spell, or simply being shot. Oh, Waystalker has been sitting there shooting with the shooting arrows of Kurnus. I haven't seen this guy appearing on the battlefield for ages, but that explains where all the damage on the Ikikla comes from, and also the unlimited power that does deal damage to Ikikla himself. Right now, Howling Warp Gale to pin down the Forest Dragon in the sky, but that is not gonna help. The Skavens and army losses will be hit. Wood Elves with their Vanguard Rush managed to run down on the poor Skavens. Right, that. I was too slow in typing. Nope. All right, cool, fine. I'll change. Versus Ronin. That will be a GG to both players, and Ronin will be pulling ahead in terms of the battle. It's a battle of green armies, actually. Warpstone Green versus Wood Elf Green, Forest Green. Yeah, we're still in October. It's time for WA. Yeah. Yeah. It's two Greenskins army technically. The skins are green, but they're not green skins. Yeah. Anyways, for the Skaven's army here, a kickoff did some damage, but I feel like Flensing Rune just not good enough against Spellweaver with that spell resistance, unfortunately. Avalanche Mortars did some spectacular job as usual, though the Natty Pubo's Sharpshooter didn't really prioritize their target right, I don't think. They should have keep shooting at the first dragon, but they didn't quite do so. Avalanche Mortars definitely should have shot the Deepwood Scouts, I think, but yeah. Overall, the Skaven army just didn't trade well into the Wood Elves in melee, even after all that Avalanche Mortar, weakening the Dryads and Wild Riders. Very nice micro from Ronin as well, using the Wild Riders, concentrating them on one flank, overloading the Skaven defenses over there, while the Skaven Slaves, Clan Rats, are still a little bit out of position, unable to aid their right flank, crushing the right flank and then start pressuring into the back line, shutting down those Skaven missile fire. Really nice damage from the Wild Riders there. And the Forest Dragon did some pretty good job terrorizing the flimsy leadership of the Skavens. And yeah, that is it for the green versus green battle. Let's see if Bahrain and whoever there's and Stormrunner actually. Stormrunner are done with their battle? Probably not. Alright, I'm just gonna go and collect some replays. While we are waiting for Stormrunner and Bahrain to be done. Yeah, we have 3 replays. Now we just need to wait for Stormrunner and Bahrain, and then it will be a best of 3 between whoever wins between Stormrunner and Bahrain. Oh, they had a bit of connection issues earlier, so... Oh wait, no. Stormrunner and Barbagiani had a little bit of connection issues, so they had to restart the match. So, Stormrunner versus Bahrain is probably still going on. I might actually go and cast a replay while we are waiting for Stormrunner and Bahrain to finish their game. So let me just quickly do a Discord message. Alright, cool. We'll jump right into a replay that we just downloaded, and yeah. There's no point in keeping everyone waiting, so might as well just do some replays while we're at it. Alright, we have High Elves versus Chaos Dwarfs. Rider of Rohan versus Bahrain. Interesting battle. And we are seeing Infernal Iron Sworn. Iron Sworn is such a cool unit. Elite heavy infantry that can fight to the death, but they are also quite rough to deal with if you don't have the right equipment to deal with them. Because they're just such a tanky unit and they will fight to the death. And yeah, let's look at the army builds here. For the High Elves, going for a Shadow Warrior spam. Are there just 5 Shadow Warriors? I don't know if you can bring 5 of them, or can you only bring 4? Anyways, both players didn't really say anything about it, so I assume it's okay with both of them. It's a very mobile army here with the High Elves. A bunch of Elarian Reavers, a couple War Lions, and 3 Spears, plus a single Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower leading the army tackless with Flock of Doom and Net of Amantok, sort of tackless to boost his boosts his spell mastery and reserves, and potion of Shroud for self heals. No fire convocation because the important units of the Chaos Dwarfs mostly have fire resistance, so it's not exactly the most useful thing in the world. On the other side, for the Chaos Dwarfs, Goblin Laborers backed up by some elite Chaos Dwarf infantry, Iron Swans, and then the Blazing Beards. A lot of explosive charges, a couple three blunderbusses, and more Laborers guarding the back, absorbing any rear charges. Bull Centaur Torok coming in with some armor sundering, armor debuff, and vigor reduction as well. There's a Death Shrieker rocket launcher, a very devastating piece of artillery, and in the skies leading the army, Sorcerer Prophet of Metal with Searing Doom and Glittering Robe. Glittering Robe, interesting choice there. I don't see a lot of units that needs armor, and outside of the Bull Centaur Torok or the Sorcerer Prophet of Metal himself probably needs some armor. But yeah, we shall see what happens here. The High Elves are already shooting at these Laborers, but honestly, that is not a good value trade for the High Elves, and the rest of the High Elf army is just gonna be struggling to do damage with against all these shields and armor. We'll do a bit of fast forward here as we're going through a little bit of a skirmishing phase. The Archer Fire are trying to whittle down the blunderbusses, but the blunderbusses do have that silver shield with 55% missile block chance, and they're just tanking it, shrugging off all that Archer Fire like it is nothing while the artillery goes on. Death Shrieker rocket launcher taking a bunch of damage from afar, but managed to destroy the Eagle Club for pretty much a one-shot, one-kill scenario because it has a ridiculous amount of anti-large with the demolition rocket. At 500 bonus versus large, it's pretty ridiculous. Now it should start switching targets and start shooting something else with the scattered rocket. Blunderbuss is shooting into the Elven Reavers, but probably doing more friendly fire to the Goblin Laborers instead, while the Infernal Iron Swan are holding in the front line. Wait, how did they take so much damage? Oh, they were probably being shot by the Shadow Warriors with the volley fire and a bit of Flock of Doom and that sort. But either ways, they're taking a lot of shock damage. Oh, there's a Metal Saucer with Plague of Rust. That makes sense. Plague of Rust reducing their armor, and that means the Shadow Warriors are doing much more effective damage. But the Glittering Rod was counteracting it. It's just not enough to save them, though, as the Infernal Iron Swans are going down. Very nice synergy, spell synergy from the High Elves. Elven Reavers slamming into the Goblin Laborers, but these blunderbusses absolutely deleting these Reavers, while the Goblin Laborers will be buying more time for the blunderbusses to keep shooting. However, the first of the Infernal Iron Swan unfortunately went down to the sheer volume of High Elf arrows and the Plague of Rust spell combined. While the Blazing Beards are being pinned down, the explosive charges don't really have a place to land, as the High Elves don't really have that many infantry overall. Now the Demolition Rockets has been switched over to the Death Shrieker rockets, and now Scatter Shot onto the Shadow Warriors should do some good damage, though the Shadow Warriors are firing back, putting a dent in the Death Shrieker rockets' HP bar. And yeah, looks like the High Elves are pushing hard into the Chaos Dwarf backline, shutting down those Chaos Dwarf blunderbusses, but they do have the guard mode turned on, so they're still fighting. Bull Centaur Torok is still fighting as well with their anti-large bonus. And yeah, things are looking quite rough for the Chaos Dwarf. I do wonder how they can pull it back. A Glittering Robe upgraded version giving those blunderbusses 145 armor, so they can tank out damage for a while, even against the charges of the Elven Reavers. Though the War Lions do have anti-infantry armor piercing, so even if the blunderbusses are protected by Glittering Robe, it's not going to save them. Speaking of not going to be saved, Death Shrieker rocket launchers is now super low in health and will be routed off. Perhaps the War Lions can chase them down. Blunderbusses are still fighting in the front line, actually dragging down the spears. Actually dragging down the spears with quite a bit of damage. Searing Doom was dropped onto the spears, which is why they're now quite weak. But there is still this one Infernal Iron Swan tanking it out against the enemy spears in a melee grind. Now the Shadow Warriors are running low in terms of they're running low in terms of ammo. They need to conserve some of that shots into the Infernal Iron Swan. If they don't, they might just get outgrinded in the melee in the late game. But right now, Bull Centaur Torok still very much healthy. Warlands somehow pushing back the Death Shrieker rocket launchers. Interesting. And the Warlands now jumping into these Chaos Dwarf blunderbusses, running them down with the anti-infantry armor piercing and a very nice fear effect as well. Another Searing Doom onto the enemy spears, though there is a bit of friendly fire to the Infernal Iron Sworn. Another Plague of Rust upgraded version. Are we seeing another focus fire from all these Shadow Warriors? We might, but there are only 3 units of Shadow Warriors still shooting now, as 2 of them has completely ran out of ammo. Now the archers are shooting, but they're not getting the most shots in. So we're not seeing the Infernal Iron Sworn dropping their HP that fast, especially now that their shields are facing the right direction, tanking a lot of those shots. They're actually chugging explosive charges into these Shadow Warriors who are trying to surround and grind down the Blazing Beards, getting some pretty nice damage done. On top of that, the single entities are still quite healthy and ready to duke it out in a melee fight, especially the Bull Centaur Torok having his eyes set on Tackless himself. A little bit of breath attack from the Great Taurochs, and the spears will be routed with a rear charge dive bombed by the Sorcerer Prophet of Metal on his massive mount, the Flying Cow. One of the flying cows of the Chaos Dwarfs. At the back there, Chaos Dwarf blunderbusses are pretty tattered, so they're pretty much out for the count. A little bit of a glittering robe on the Bull Centaur Torok, really trying to go for... Wait, is he trying to go for Tackless? No, he's having second thoughts here, as the Infernal Iron Swans continue to grind it out against the spears, though it seems that, oh no, it seems that all these Shadow Warriors have ran out of ammo. They have to kill those Infernal Iron Swan in melee. Let's see what happens here. Oh, they have to kill the Source Prophet of Metal in melee as well. That is gonna be rough, as the grind is real here. Searing Doom doing more damage to the spears surrounding the Bull Centaur Torok, while the Sorcerer Prophet of Metal is terrorizing the battlefield. These Shadow Warriors cannot hold much longer in that melee fight. And yeah, Bull Centaur Torok going in for that Wizard Snipe, getting some good hits onto the Metal Mage, though I think Tackless is still healthy. Yeah, he's still around. The problem is that the High Elves don't have much answer against the double single entities here. More breath attack from the Great Tauros, getting some nice damage done. Last minute dodge from Rider of Rohan there, but still nice. Yeah, the breath attack is still doing some decent damage. So it is down to pretty much a hero hammer scenario here. Oh, throwing in the Eagle Clawpulver might be a bit of a mistake, as they are pretty much better off just sitting back to conserve that balance of power. Because right now, if they die, they will get killed and they will bring down a chunk of balance of power with them, while not doing much in melee, really. But yeah, I don't see how High Elves can grind it out against the 2 single entities at this point. They're 2 very powerful melee units, and there's only Tackless and some spears and Shadow Warriors in the fray. And there are no single entity targeting spells, no Spirit Leech, no, yeah, pretty much nothing to kill them. So it is just gonna be a prolonged melee grind now that we're seeing this. And yeah, it is just going to be Tackless. He's trying to go into a melee fight, but he's just going to get absolutely slapped by the 2 monstrous entities. And that shall be GG. That shall be victory to the Chaos Dwarfs. Yeah, the Chaos Dwarfs, I was not expecting the Bull Centaur Torok to appear on the battlefield, but apparently they're doing pretty damn well. The infantry-wise, one of the Infernal Iron Swan got nuked in the early stage by a combination of Shadow Warriors and Plague of Rust. But the other 2 that didn't get nuked by the combo survived and did some pretty good damage over the course of battle. The blunderbusses didn't do that much damage, neither did the Africa rocket launcher, but the Bull Centaur Torok, surprising enough, just hacking down War Lions, Reavers, and then carrying the late game, while the Sorcerer Prophet of Metal getting some good damage with the Breath Spell and Searing Dooms as well. Very nicely done from Borain there, grinding out against the High Elves. The combo of the High Elf Shadow Warriors and the Plague of Rust spell is pretty interesting there. The Shadow Warriors managed to earn back their value, but the rest of the army didn't trade well into the Infernal Iron Sworn, and not even into the blunderbusses. Warlands did well because they have anti-infantry and armor piercing, but other than that, not much was done. Flock of Doom was probably the best bet in working down the health of the Infernal Iron Sworn, but even then, it is still a pretty much an uphill battle once the with so much reliance on the Shadow Warriors. trying to shoot down the Chaos Dwarfs with so much shield and armor. Contrarian Codex, let me just catch up with the... Yeah, let me just catch up with the... Right, cool. Let me just catch up with the chat here. Yeah. Because I have been just talking about the battles. And yeah, it looks like both players are ready in the lobby. And yeah, I hopefully I didn't kept them waiting for too long. But yeah, Dreaded Saurian been getting into 40k because of Space Marine 2. Oh shit. Yeah, I need to play the game, but I spent too much money on minis, and I don't want to spend. I want to save up a bit before spending more money on Warhammer itself. So, oh, and Gaunt's goes in 15 hours. I actually got a book from Warhammer 40k, the Infinite and the Divine, because I just really like Trazyn as a character from everything I read about him, all the memes. So yeah, I just got a book about that. Slowly but surely, that's how. Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Always fun seeing the Avalanche Mortars actually have a chance to shoot. Yeah, it's very satisfying to not be on the as long as you're not on the receiving end. Yes. Rip Scavino's gotta go max mobility or else this happens. Actually, I've never played Skaven against Wood Elves myself, so I don't know how this plays. Expensive units are just so snipeable for Wood Elves. That is true indeed, with so much missile fire available on their end. Oh, it looks like we're seeing another Vanguard army. This is going to be an interesting fight once again. Contrarian Codex finally can tune into the stream. Nice. Welcome to the stream then. We are looking at the finals, best of 3 between the two players. And yeah. Alright, I'm gonna move away from the chat as we're gonna have to go through the army builds. The front line of Dryads with some Way Watchers, very elite firepower there, protected by more Dryads and Wild Hunters, Colonels, Eternal God, Wild Riders. A lot of Vanguard forces with a few armor-piercing spears, and then leading the army, a Glade Lord with Arrows of Kurnus and the Net of Amentok. No, not Net of Amentok, the Prey of Anaphrema. That's what else net. On a great stack, so getting a little bit of armor-piercing melee profile. Beside her is actually a Branch Wraith, so she can probably... Yeah, these two characters can both Vanguard deploy and, yeah, ignore the deployment zone. And skip a bit of the marching phase. On the other side there for the Chaos... Oh, yeah, let's see what the Dryads have in terms of spells. Melkoffs and Earthblood, very standard load out for the character. On the other... They do not have Call of the Wild, so so no melee attack boost. Not that it matters. On the other side for the Chaos Dwarfs, front line of Goblin Labor, second line of Chaos Dwarf Warriors, and Infernal Ironsworn. So once again going for elite melee backbone with more Goblin Labors. 3 units of Bull Center Renders with... Yeah, Bull Center Renders, just Bull Center Renders with... I think they have shields or... Yeah, these are the ones with shield. An Arrow of Kurnus doing some minor damage to the Infernal Ironsworn. And Overseer in disguise. Very nice use of this very niche lord. Black Gem of Narb reducing his melee attack by 100%, but does give him invulnerable status. Not for long, but he just tanked all the damage from the Way Watchers just there. A couple of volleys wasted from this elite high elf archers. Very nice use of an interesting, very niche lord. Wasting the enemy's Prey of Anaphrema. On the other side, Raw Hunters of Colonels slamming into the Goblin Laborers there. A little bit of Earthblood trying to heal back up the Way Watchers, who took a bit of damage from that burning head as they were standing around trying to shoot at the invulnerable Overseer. Now the Wild Hunters... Oh no, these are just regular Wild Riders actually. Wild Riders slamming into the Unbraced Goblins, doing so much damage and also pinning down the Demon Smith Sorcerer. Wild Hunters of Colonels trying to punish this rather eager Overseer. Now he is on his... is this a Lamasu or... No, this is a Bale Taurox. Bale Taurox surrounded by all the anti-large arm piercing. This is not going to end well for the Overseer. Unless these Bull Center Enders are coming in, driving back the Wild Hunters of Kurnus there. these are regular Bull Center Renders, so they do have a bit of bronze shield to mitigate incoming missile damage. But anyways, the Wild Riders are overstaying their welcome, being countercharged a bit by the Bull Center Renders, taking quite some damage. They will be quickly retreating, bring in the Dryads instead. Another Burning Head. Oh no, this is so much flopped up Wood Elf troops. Goblin Labor is chasing after the Way Watchers. A very timely Burning Head as well. Scorching a bunch of Way Watchers and Dryads, not only doing good damage to the Dryads' fire weakness, but also limiting the Earthblood heal for a bit there with the on fire effect. Now the Wood Elf continues their kite, but very nice juking from Borain, dodging some of those shots from the volleys of armor-piercing fire, so continuously wasting the enemy firepower. More shots are coming in, but this time Borain was a bit off and unfortunately did not dodge those volleys. Now, Dryads are in the front line. Okay. Yeah, Dryads are in the front line, but here comes the Infernal Iron Swan being drained away by the Malkov's Mystifying Miasma. At this point, without any armor-piercing melee, other than Eternal Gods, who don't really have enough AP to work down the Infernal Iron Swan, it is probably best to just keep spamming Malkovs to drain down the Infernal Iron Swan. While Hunters of Kernus are countercharging the Bull Center Renders, doing some impressive shock damage right there. Another Net of Emmentalk this time, and there is no invulnerability, no Gemstone of no Black Gem of Nar, as he actually used it like half a minute or a minute ago. So all that point blank fire of AP shots from the Way Watchers will be slaying the Overseer. Or at least, oh no, one last shot, we just see that flying towards the Overseer and bringing him down. Yeah, there goes the leadership of the Chaos Dwarf, though they do have some pretty decent leadership in terms of their Infernal Iron Swan, and they can hold. The problem is that their single entities, one has gone down to the Way Watchers, the other is stuck in the middle of a ton of Wild Riders being shot by Way Watchers as well, and that might spell the end of this flying Burning Cow. And without any spell support, without any single entity support, it is very hard for these Infernal Iron Swan to carry the game by themselves. But if Borain can micro their Bull Center Render in a masterful way, and maybe if Ronin makes some mistake, they still have a chance. Another Earthblood here, but Infernal Iron Swan does do fire damage. So all these Dryads and Wild Riders do have their healing cut in half. While at the back there, this Demon Sorcerer of Fire will go down to that surround of Deer Cavalry. Infernal Iron Swan and the Bull Center Renders continues to push, but I'm afraid there is no saving of this shattered character. At the back there, the Branch Wraith duking it out with some Chaos Dwarf Warriors. Yeah, it's not gonna. It's just gonna be both sides wet noodling each other. One side doesn't have enough AP to kill the Chaos Dwarf Warriors, and the other side just aren't good damage dealers in general. Just slowly grinding through the health of the Branch Wraith. Another Wild Arrows of Kernus doing good damage to the Chaos Dwarf Warriors this time, shooting in from the side, and with the good penetration profile, damaging quite a few of these Chaos Dwarf models, doing some good damage. And yeah, sorry about a bit of a stutter here and there. We are indeed connecting with players across the world, so yeah, there is unfortunately unfortunately some inevitable hiccups in their internet, but yeah, it seems like we're smoothing up again as the units die off, and now the Way Watchers continues to rain down fire onto those Bull Center Renders, taking more and more damage. These Bull Center Renders are not going to hold long in combat. One of them is already routed. Infernal Iron Swan continues to hold on, but what does it? It doesn't even matter in the end. In the end, it doesn't even matter when the rest of the armies just got scattered to the winds. Chaos Dwarf Warriors are still fighting, but it is just the 3 infantry units holding on for now. 4 infantry units, actually, holding on for now. All 4 Chaos Dwarf infantry units are holding on. The rest are all running away or beleaguered and scattered across the battlefield. Another Earthblood, once again, hitting all these units. But once again, remember the Infernal Iron Swan does do fire damage. So whatever that was fighting them were on fire, and the healing was not great. But anyways, that doesn't really matter. Oh wow, the explosions, blowing up some of these Dryads, doing some nice damage. But yeah, these Infernal Iron Swan are completely surrounded, swarmed by enemy units, including some Wild Riders. They just need a couple more units recharging them, and they will be done for. Anyways, Infernal Iron Sworn over here keeps pushing against the Wild Hunters of Kurnos, trying their best to grind it out, but the Wild Hunters of Kurnos have nothing to stop them from cycle charging. Since all the Bull Center renders are gone, there's not enough speed or mass to pin them down. So it is just the just this one Infernal Iron Sworn still. Oh wait, no, these guys are still holding. God damn. But no, yep. There goes the Infernal Iron Sworn, and army losses hits, and there's still half a unit left on these Infernal Iron Sworn, but that doesn't even matter anymore, as no, I didn't manage to hit save. God damn it. Oh shit. Accidentally exited. So yeah, no army values this time. Unless we load into it later. But yeah, mostly it's very nice micro from Ronin there. A very strong kiting play. Catching the enemy lord. Yeah, catching the enemy lord out of position and rain down those Waywatcher fire. I should pull up the army blocker actually. Doing a lot of damage in the process. While the Chaos Dwarf there, a little bit of mistake in microing the Overseer, taking a bit too much damage from the Waywatchers, sitting a little bit too long. What lord did Ronin have? That was a regular Glade Lady. And Barain was taking an Overseer. Was it the guy with Helm of Discord? No, it's the one. It's the lady with Prey of Anaphrema and Arrows of Kurnos. Yeah. So no more Glade Lady, but all the other lords are still available. Barain can now use anything that is not an Overseer. But yeah, interesting use of the Overseer there. The Black Gem of Nar actually managed to tank a couple volleys of Waywatcher fire at the beginning, which was really nice use of the very niche lord and ability slash item. But yeah, that was just not enough to reverse the battle, unfortunately. But yeah. Dreadasaurian avoided paying for minis just so I can play Space Marine 2. Haha, just finished the campaign on Monday. So satisfying. I want to play the game, but yeah, I'm just too busy painting minis these days to play video games. Yeah, nah. But yeah, I should try to play the game at some point soon, but not now. I still need to assemble my first 500 points of Custodies. I'm almost there. I just need to finish this Terminator Alaris Custodian I'm building, and then build another one, and I'll have 500 points worth of minis to play games with people if I can find a play group. But I probably can't. Not in anytime soon. So yeah, it's the rough thing of you have the minis, but now it's where can I play the game with with people that I probably don't know. But yeah, anyways, that is it for the first battle. We are going into the second battle in this best of 3. Players will have to use different lords, and they cannot use the same lord, the same caster with different lord of magic count as the same lord. So they will be banned as well. But there's no caster this game, so players are still free to use every single other lord that they did not use in the first round. If you do at some point, let me know. Could play some operations. Nobody plays OW. Is that the 500 point game? Oh wait, no. You mean Space Marines, right? For a second I thought you were talking about tabletop. No. Old World. But I don't have Old World, dude. Nobody plays Old World for sure. Everyone moves on. Like, the Age of Sigmar models are just spectacular. And it's just a bit... It's just a bit too tempting to not go. It's too tempting for us to not to go Age of Sigmar and go to Old World. Old World, I feel like it's very nostalgic, and less about less easy to get into with bigger size armies. I feel like Age of Sigmar is very nice in terms of like they have more expensive models in terms of the army points, so you don't need as much of an army to build and start playing. Once you go Sigmar, you never go back. Pretty much, yeah. All right. So yeah. Now for army, yeah, actually, the number count of the models is why I have decided to start with Custodes. Because they're a super elite army, so I can quickly build up a force that can be playable without spending too much time on the models. But now I'm just constantly painting, highlighting, and I feel like the same amount of time I painted my models, I can probably paint 2 or 3 more Space Marine models in the same amount of time, I feel like. So yeah, I feel like the fact that I went for that very hard painting scheme for my Custodes is going against my my idea of quickly setting up an army to start playing, because I'm really struggling to get all these painting out minis painted in a short time span. Anyways, army builds time. Ronin going with a very strong melee rush. I don't know how effective this is gonna be this time. Dryad front line, second line of war dances, and then third line of spears. One of them, the Wildwood Rangers Regiment of Renown Wardens of Sith Row. With their anti-large armor piercing, they do have armor sundering, which is pretty nice against armored units. And more war dancers on the far side, Dryads, Wild Riders, and on the other side of leading the army, Orion. You don't usually see the guy. Is there any spell support? Branch Wraith as usual. Melkovs? Oh, no Melkovs, just Earthblood. Okay. On the other side, for the Chaos Dwarfs, front line of Goblin Laborers, second line of Explosive Infantry, Infernal Iron Sworn, and Blazing Beards of Vazarak. And then the third line of Kadai Fireborn Melee, plus a single unit of Orc Labor. So, melee rush against melee rush. Let's see what happens here. If you checked out my videos previously, you could probably have already seen a Chaos Dwarf melee rush winning against Wood Elf melee rush with their Kadai Fireborn spam. Let's see what happens this time here. The Ox Talent unfortunately didn't do much damage to the Infernal Iron Sworn. A very nice dodge with Borain. But massive damage from the Deathshrieker rocket launcher at the back there, guarded by the Orc Labor. Especially with the anti-large. 500 anti-large, remember. 500 anti-large on this thing. Plus the usual 300 regular damage. That is plus 900. Oh, that is almost... Oh god, that is almost 1,000 damage per hit. And it's doing massive damage to Orion. Orion needs to hide in the forest and just try to stay away from the freaking Deathshrieker rocket launcher. Either ways, Orion is in the melee fight. War Dancers slicing and dicing these poor Goblin Laborers. There are only 3 elite infantry in the front line there. So they can only block up so many Wood Elf units. Though the Kadai Fireborn are reinforcing and quickly slicing down these War Dancers. Wild Hunters of Kronos might be stuck in melee for a little too long there. They need to quickly pull back and start picking another fight somewhere else. Though Wild Riders and Dryads are intruding into the backline and threatening the Deathshrieker rocket launcher, who is still firing at Orion, who is running low in health. War Dancers and Wardens of Sith Row trying to surround and pin down the Sorcerer Prophet of Fire with the help of some Wild Riders, but the Flying Cow simply pushed through. I think this is Baal Taurox without the breath attack. Yeah, it simply pushes through, and there's no, it's not much of an issue for them to get out of there and stay alive. At the back there, Dryads and Wild Riders trying to tie down the enemy backline and shut down the Deathshrieker rocket launcher, but the Orc Laborers are here to screen and just keep those Dryads at bay, buying more time for the Deathshrieker to keep firing. And another shot against Orion. Orion really needs to hide in the forest now, because those shots are magic damage and can ignore his physical resistance. Now he has his ward save on, but I don't know how much is it gonna do here if the Deathshrieker continues fire. Good news is that the Dryads are in with some Wild Riders, just tying down the Deathshrieker finally. And Orion is going in for that melee fight, trying really hard to go after the Deathshrieker. Another Burning Head on the front line, roasting a bunch of War Dancers as the Infernal Iron Sworn and the Fireborn just comfortably sitting in the middle of the surround of these War Dancers and chopping them up. Wild Hunters of Kurnos charging in with their anti-large armor piercing and magic attacks. They should be able to dismantle these Kadai Fireborn, but they do have that charge attack order on the Sorcerer Prophet of Fire, not the Kadai Fireborn. So the charge impact was not applied to the Kadai Fireborn. Very unfortunate there. Wardens of Sephiroth, maybe perhaps the last hope of the Wood Elf Infantry that still holds. They are grinding it out against the enemy Fireborn, dragging them down with their elite melee attacks. They are indeed a anti-monster unit, so they're doing some really good damage. Same goes for Wild Hunters of Kurnos, hunting down these Kadai monsters, Kadai demons. Now Orion here, duking it out with the Sorcerer Prophet of Fire. He is still holding on. He does have the Cloak of Isha, which gives him 20% of... Wait, where is it? Yeah. 20% of damage resistance and constant healing. His healing is cut in half by enemy fire attacks, but he is still there. He's still holding with 800 something HP and continues to heal. The problem is that the Wild Riders are routed. That is not good, since Orion will be losing out his screening units and take another big hit from the Sorcerer Prophet of Fire. Now, Orion really needs to get out of dodge here. He's now down to 400 something HP, and he is not long for this world. Oh, nope. Looks like it's going to be army losses, as the rest of the Wood Elves are also crumbling to dust. They can't really outgrind the Infernal Ironsworn. I was actually not... I didn't manage to pay attention to the... yeah, I didn't manage to pay attention to the balance of power bar. And Infernal Ironsworn and the Kadai Fireborn just traded too well against the War Dancers. War Dancers not having any AP, just couldn't do much damage to the armored Chaos Dwarfs. They're good against the chaff, just against the explosions and the high melee defense and the armor of the Infernal Ironsworn and Blazing Beards. They struggle to do any damage at all, being exploded by those blasting charges or grenades or whatever they're called. Dryads also struggle to do any meaningful damage here, lacking that armor piercing. And yeah, Wild Riders did a little bit better, but they just didn't trade well. Especially the Wild Hunters of Kurnos spending too much time in the front line against the Infernal Ironsworn, taking a little too much damage. Orion did a lot of damage in the process there, dropping those Hawk's Talons and the Hounds of Orion and whatnot, but damn, the Deathstreaker Rocket Launcher just did some really solid work throughout the early stage of the battle. And Orion, even as tanky as he is just taking too much damage in the process, getting sniped by those guided rockets. And yeah, that is the first game here. Oh, and Wardens of Sephiroth didn't do much. They were too expensive on it of an infantry. You're probably better off just spreading the funds into more units. But I assume Ronin here is just trying to go for lols and trying to get some meme units on the field, which explains the Wardens of Sephiroth choices. You probably wouldn't bring that normally into a Chaos Dwarf matchup. So yeah, they managed to do some damage, not a lot though, and didn't really drag down the Kadai Fireborn, which was quite unfortunate. Let us just pull up the screen blocker again, and this time Bahrain managed to drag 1 point back in this best of 3. One more game and that shall be it for the best of 3. This is gonna be match point. Third and final battle between Ronin and Bahrain, Wood Elves, and Chaos Dwarfs. Chaos Dwarfs in the finals. God damn! I swear we just banned it in the last Faction Wars, or the one before. Yeah, I feel like we've banned the Chaos Dwarfs at some point during September as well. So Bahrain having some very strong, consistent performance with the Chaos Dwarfs, and yeah, getting some really good work done throughout the battles. Good stuff for sure. Alright, just a little bit of rules clarification. Ronin was asking whether the Glade Lord and Glade Lady count as different lord or count as the same lord. They are counted as different lords since they are not just a switch in terms of they're just not only switching in terms of the lore of magic, they are switching their ability and their item loadout. So different, like the Glade Lord and Glade Lady demands different play style. Unlike, say, you're switching only the lords of magic. You're literally bringing the same person with a different set of tools that still will demand the same play style. So it doesn't really, it doesn't really fit the different lord scenario here if you're just changing the lore of magic for the caster. But yeah, I mean, not in terms of the army playstyle, but in terms of the lord's playstyle. Like if you're just switching the lords of magic, you like something, say like a High Elf army or a Slann army, you will literally just switch from lore of life to lore of high magic, and it kind of defeats the point at that point. You're still spamming healing, you're still playing conservatively with your Slann lord. It defeats the point of requiring a different lord choice. But if you're switching your Glade Lady into a Glade Lord, a Glade Lady will demand a more skirmishy playstyle. With your Lord, you need to hold her back and poke enemy with your bow and arrows of Kurnos, and maybe try to drop that Prey of Anathema down to pin down enemy and keep shooting them. But at the same time, if you switch over to a Glade Lord, if you switch over to a Glade Lord, you have to play aggressively with your Lord, diving in with a Dragon Mount, for example, and then drop that Helm of Discord and provide that melee buff to your front line, that sort of stuff. So, yeah, a Glade Lord and Glade Lady will be counted as different lords. Same goes for, say, a Dread Lord with Dread Lord and Nelosi. Nelosi is the one with crossbow. Dread Lord is the one with sword and shield, I think. Nelosi is not a lord name, but just a character being more. It's a nickname we give to the crossbow lord, crossbow dread lord, actually. Yeah, not the official name of the lord, but yeah. Yeah, there's also Spearhead as well, which is playable with just one box per player. Yeah, I wanted to get. You know what? I've been wanting to get the Osirak Bone Reaper Spearhead, because I really like the theme of like Osirak Bone Reaper. They are an undead army with elite bone warriors and bone mechas, kind of like they built bone robots essentially, right? Like the big constructs are literally just undead constructs assembled with bones and a lot of warrior souls. So you're basically bringing some bone robots onto the battlefield, and then you have the Bone Terminator army with your Mortarch guards. And yeah, those are, I feel like as a theme, it's really cool. I really like the skeleton undead theme, but Tomb Kings is a bit too on the nose with the Egyptian theme, so it was never the thing for me. But Osirak Bone Reaper, that is like my dream undead bone army, and I really want to get it. But damn, I'm still building my fucking Custodes. I can't do it just yet. But yeah, if I'm going Age of Sigmar, I'll probably go for that. Anyways, let's go back into the battle. Now we have Wood Elves once again, bringing Way Watchers on the field now, with a much cheaper front line. Dryads and Eternal Gods only. No more War Dances. And the rest of the money goes into mobility. Wild Riders and Wild Hunters of Kurnos. We have a single Way Stalker coming in with the Arrows of Kurnos, ready to snipe the Deathshrieker rocket launcher. And this time, Ronan learned his lesson here, keeping the Glade Lord behind, out of range of the Deathshrieker rocket launcher, while the Waystalker continues to poke at the Deathshrieker. Very wise choice there. Just trying to work down the Deathshrieker before investing your Lord into a frontline fight. Golvizar Harvester looks so cool. Yeah, I like the Stalker actually. The Stalker, it feels like a flying bone mecha actually. Wild Hunters of Kurnos will be guarding the Glade Lord. The front line of the Chaos Dwarfs are taking some damage. Once again, going for pretty much the same army build. Goblin Labor front line, Iron Swan and Bazorak, Blazing Beards of Bas. No, these are just regular 12 warriors. Some units of Goblin Laborers, Zantan the Black for his net. Oh, this might be coming in with... the net might be coming in as soon as these Wild Riders tear into the enemy front line. But yeah, at the back there, Kadai Fireborn guarding Deathshrieker and the Orc Laborers as well. While there's more Kadai Fireborn on the other side. Damon Smith Sorcerer of Fire coming with Burning Head and Cascading Fire Cloak. While we were going through the army builds, the skirmishing of the Elves are doing some proper work here. Working through the HP of these Infernal Iron Sworn, regardless of their Bronze Shield, the AP damage of 3 Weight Watchers is still very, very real, and they are definitely adding up and working down the HP of both the Infernal Iron Sworn and the Demon Smith Sorcerer on his, I think that's a Great Taurus. No, that's a Bale Taurus, yeah. No breath attack, so... Yeah, Chaos Dwarf Warriors are moving up, and Zatan Black using the Sadistic Snare to pin down the Wild Riders. Now the Kadai Fireborn are moving in to get that charge onto the Wild Riders, catching them and dragging them down in melee. The Deathshrieker Rocket Launcher has been firing, but I think... Oh yeah, it's still firing at the Weight Watcher, but they have been dodging the shots, I believe. Oh wait, no, the Deathshrieker Rocket Launcher was using the scatter shots against the Waystalker earlier, which was not that effective. Anyway, some of these Iron Sworn managed to get in range and drop a volley of explosion into the Weight Watcher, but that actually scattered their formation, making the follow-up with the Deathshrieker Rocket Launcher a little less effective. Waystalker being pushed back by the enemy infantry, meaning that he is no longer in range to keep shooting at the Deathshrieker. Deathshrieker can continue to shoot at these relatively overlapped Weight Watchers. This might be very dangerous for these expensive infantry here, but Weight Watchers continues to kite and shoot. And one of the Infernal Iron Sworn is already almost dead. Oh no, the scatter shot is a little bit off in terms of accuracy, landing short of the Weight Watchers who have been dodging those firepower. And very nice work from the Weight Watchers. They're constantly just keeping themselves on the move. Ronin doing some really nice micro, even dodging, just constantly dodging the enemy Burning Head and the Deathshrieker rockets. But unfortunately, this Burning Head managed to land on the Weight Watchers and starting to do damage, curving in the right direction as well, sticking around the Weight Watcher a little longer, and another volley of the Deathshrieker rockets, leaving a massive dent on the HP bar of these Weight Watchers, and on top of that, the burnt effect, nuking their leadership. On the flank there, Kadai Fireborn charging into the Wild Hunters of Kurnos. And the Wild Hunters of Kurnos taking a lot of shock damage in the process. Not great for them at all, since their physical resistance are being completely ignored by all these magical attacks. They're taking a lot of damage in the process. Another Kadai Fireborn swarm in, and these Wild Hunters of Kurnos really could use some help from the Eternal Gods. Weight Watchers continues to kite. Looks like they are the main focus of Ronin's micro right now, as Eternal Gods are still hanging back and not actually doing anything to the Kadai Fireborn just yet, leaving those Wild Hunters of Kurnos to dry. Now the Glade Lord trying to kite with the rest of his army, but he's not actually supporting the rest of the kite army. He doesn't really synergize with the kite army because the Helm of Discord here does well with melee units, but yeah, there's not a lot of melee going on when you look at the battlefield. Yeah, the Weight Watchers are doing some really good damage over time against the Kadai Fireborn, slowly working them down. The problem is, how are you going to kill all of these Infernal Iron Sworn? I guess Flock of Doom is the best idea over here. But yeah, the rest of them... But it's going to take time, and time is not exactly on the Wood Elf side. Over here, finally, the Eternal Gods are activated to try and drag down those Kadai Fireborn here. But the Kadai Fireborn are already on the move and will soon be leaving the Eternal Gods behind. Now, the Weight Watchers are under pretty heavy pressure from all the infantry and Kadai Fireborn. But the Weight Watchers are still firing, doing good damage, slowly whittling down the health of the Kadai Fireborn. But the Wild Riders, they are running low in pretty much everything. Leadership, health, vigor. They are almost, well, they still have some vigor, but yeah, they are almost dead. I am astonished by how they're still in the fight. But yeah, that little charge there just give the Weight Watchers just enough time to bring down the rest of the Kadai Fireborn. The kite continues as the Demon Smith Sorcerer is getting low in HP. I believe the Waystalker has been shooting. Yeah, he's been constantly shooting at the Demon Smith Sorcerer, and the Demon Smith Sorcerer is having a bit of rough time to stay away from that long-range missile fire. Another Flock of Doom from the Spellsinger of Beast doing some consistent damage to an Infernal Iron Sworn, while Zatan keeps trying to chase after the Way Watchers, just struggling to catch up until he drops a Sadistic Snare onto the enemy. But there are only 2 uses of the net, so that is going to be the last bit of the net. No more nets for the Chaos Dwarfs. And now that it all comes down to whether the Chaos Dwarfs can weather those Way Watcher fire long enough until they run out of ammo. There's still quite a few volleys on these guys. 13 volleys, 12 volleys on these guys, and both having almost 35 unit models left, and still quite a bit of DPS. That is like over 400 shots on each unit with a ton of AP. 31 AP? Wait, hold on. 33 AP. So 400 shots with 33 AP per shot. Ugh. And then you cut that by half. That is still how many? That is still over 12,000 damage coming in. And and then even if you exclude all that shots that goes missing, you probably still end up with like 6,000-7,000 damage left. And yeah, you probably at least still have 6,000-7,000 damage left on just these 2 units of Way Watchers. So yeah, that is still some very formidable damage on these AP firepower. Now the Kadai Fireborn, this one that is still managed to hang on around, will be quite a big threat in the late game like this, to catch up and chase down the Way Watchers. The problem is that there are still way too many Way Watchers on the field, and only 1 unit of Kadai Fireborn will struggle to deal with all of them. They're struggling to deal with even 1 of them, as their 54 speed still takes some time to catch up to the 40 speed of the Way Watchers, and as they are trying to give chase, they are taking shots in the face, even at point blank range, so they're taking a lot of losses in the process. Deathshrieker rocket launchers continues to fire, but not having the best accuracy. The Waystalker finally almost running out of ammo, getting 1,000 gold worth of damage value so far. Use up all their arrows of Kernus though. So a little bit lackluster in terms of performance. Barely managed to... he actually managed to earn back his value and then some more. So that's fine, I would say. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Now he is able to turn around and fire. Nope, never mind. The Way Watchers are in range and just annihilated the last bit of HP on the Deathshrieker rocket launcher. So no more long range fire for the Chaos Dwarfs, and it is down to just these Infernal Iron Sworn Zatan and the Tattered Fireborn. Yeah, things are looking rough for the Chaos Dwarf for sure. They're not completely out of it, but they are pretty much... It's pretty much fighting an uphill battle at this point. Balance of power is against them, and they're getting hit by that Flock of Doom, while they themselves have no more magic to counteract enemy units. They did manage to drop an explosive volley onto the internal guards, nuking them down to half health, but now the Dryads are flooding in, just tying them down in melee, so no more explosion, no more explosive charges. A Flock of Doom draining their health. The Great Lord coming in with that Helm of Discord, nuking their melee stats down to 19 attack, 41 defense. Still probably way too much for the Dryads to punch through, but at least they're not doing as much damage back with their fire attacks against the Dryads, who does have flame weakness. Now the Way Watchers will be the main carry for the Wood Elves, now that there's no more artillery or mobility to threaten them. Just showering those Kadai Fireborn with their AP arrows, and that is probably going to be it. That is probably going to be it for the Kadai Fireborn, as they are slowly falling into crumbling territory. The elemental dismember? Yeah, the demonic instability actually quickly fading away. They're crumbling to dust, and there goes the monstrous infantry. With no more speed, no more control, no more initiative on the battlefield, the Chaos Dwarfs are now sitting ducks, just trying to grind it out, trying desperately to set up a explosive charge against the Eternal Gods, and they actually got it out, doing some really nice damage, nuking away half of their remaining HP. The problem is there are just more and more units flooding in, armor-piercing Way Watcher fire, shooting at their back, at their unshielded side, and even as the elite as the Iron Sworn will probably not hold for long. Their leadership is still holding, barely. They're still fighting shoulder to shoulder with Zatan the Black. That is the only thing keeping their leadership intact. But yeah, Zatan the Black isn't that amazing of a melee combatant either. He's a decent melee fighter, but 62 attack, 55 defense. He's pretty average. Even the Glade Lord has better melee stats than him on even on the mount. So yeah, with a little bit of Flock of Doom, the Iron Sworn got the nudge they need to nudge them off the battlefield, leaving only Zatan in the fight. Now even the Spell Singer is going in for that cycle charge and trying to deal with Zatan. Zatan is all alone now, and it's just a matter of time before Army Losses kicks in. He did slap that poor Spell Singer of Beast, and he does. The problem is he has nowhere net, so he can't just pin down the Spell Singer and finish him off. Now here comes another Helm of Discord, nuking Zatan's melee stats. And it is time to execute this poor Zatan the Black. More Flock of Dooms coming in. It doesn't do great damage against single entity characters, but I mean, you got the Winds of Magic, so why not, right? Just might as well use it. And every little bit of damage helps. And yeah, it is just a bunch of green units. We're still in the month of Wa, October indeed, and seems like this month really favors the green, and that shall be victory to... Oh shit, I forgot to save the second game. And yeah, that shall be the last game of this best of 3. And yeah, GG's both players. Very fun game indeed. Looks like the Weight Watchers really carried hard. Nice kiting from Ronin there. Just kiting back the Infernal Iron Sworn, knowing that Borain will probably bring heavy infantry once again, using the mobility to just keep shooting down the Infernal Iron Sworn and weakening the Fireborn, while sacrificing the Dryads and Wild Riders even, just to slow down their advance and buy more time for the Weight Watchers to dish out that damage from afar. And Weight Stalker actually earned back their value and then some more. I haven't seen this guy doing a solid job in a while, shooting up both the Demon Smith Saucer and the Deathshrieker Rocket Launcher. Very nice battle. Even if this is a kiting battle, it is still very scrappy after all. The Wood Elves aren't just avoiding combat, they're throwing in those Wild Riders actively into the enemy frontline, trying to weaken them as much as possible with that charge impact, taking the risk of being caught in melee, like that one Wild Rider at the beginning of battle being pinned down by the Sadistic Snare. And yeah, it's a lot of very fun back and forth between the two players. Unfortunately though, the Chaos Dwarf is just a little bit too slow in this scenario here. Even with the artillery raining down fire on the enemy, they actually didn't do that much damage. They are actually missing a lot with their Deathshrieker shot. I am very surprised by how often those shots missed their target. So yeah, that was a pretty tragic scenario there. But yeah, other than that, a very good game from both players. One of the Infernal Iron Sworn did some really good damage with the explosive charges and grinding down a lot of the Wood Elf forces, just not quite enough to carry the game by themselves, as the rest of the Chaos Dwarf army didn't quite do enough work other than a couple Kadai Fireborn. While the Wood Elves here, yeah, we've been through the Wood Elves. Mostly the Weight Watchers earning most of the value. Very nice job from both players. And GG to Ronin. Congratulations for the win. GG to Borain as well. Put up some very good fight with a more commonly known as a low tier faction, the Chaos Dwarfs. I've been seeing Borain using a lot of Chaos Dwarfs, and he seems to have gotten a pretty good hang of it. Like, even with Chaos Dwarf being memed as a tier F army, like in the right hands, it can still definitely do some really good work. For example, here with Borain fighting his way all the way into the finals. This is not the first time he actually got here, got into the finals on the Wednesday Faction Wars. It's he definitely did it back in September or late August, somewhere around then. I forgot the exact date, but yeah, because I remember I banned Chaos Dwarf in September once, which only happens when Chaos Dwarf gets into the finals. And so next time, if we have another when we have another incoming Wednesday Faction Wars, we'll be banning Wood Elves and Chaos Dwarf, and yeah, Chaos Dwarf again. And yeah, the other side is Wood Elves. Damn, why am I banning all the weak factions? What the fuck? Where are the Kislev? Where are the Teenj? Where are the Tomb Kings and Grand Cathay? I mean, I did ban Tomb Kings this week, I think. So yeah. But yeah. Where are the Teenj, Kislev, and Grand Cathay and Empire? The rise of the top tiers. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Kadai always bring a smile to my face. Cool units. Yeah, especially the Kadai Destroyer. Unfortunately, it is such a weak piece. Unlike the Dreadsaurian. GG, nice stream, man. Contrarian Codex, we're not done yet. We still have a few more replay files to go through, dude. So, yeah, sit tight. We are moving into the replay section of the stream. Shigadigi, we only play or slash Bahrain here. We only played OP factions. Killstorf OP indeed. I still need to do an army build video, a meme army build video for the Killstorfs. I just haven't gotten around to it yet because I've been spending all my time on the damn Custodes army. I'm not saying I'm not enjoying the building process. I'm just saying it's just draining all my time away from everything else that I was supposed to do. But yeah. Anyways, I think after the stream I'll go back to keep painting armies. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, we still have 3 more replays to go through. Vampire Counts versus Wood Elves with Isabella von Karstein. I think that is a doubt-worthy choice of a lord, because Isabella von Karstein, his specialty item is basically an undead regrowth, the Blood Chalice. The problem is she can't use it. Like, she can't use it on any character that is worth the heal. She herself doesn't have a zombie dragon mount. So even if you use it on herself, she can't really deliver the same kind of impact. Like, she can't really deliver the same kind of impact. Does she have the Blood Chalice? Wait, oh yeah, the Blood Chalice of Bathory. Like, if you heal herself, she can't really deliver much impact in battle. Like, sure, you give more health to your caster, but how does that matter, right? It doesn't really matter. And then the undead characters, the undead hero support are pretty trash in general. There's no powerful melee combatants. They're decent melee combatants, but no powerful melee combatants. White King, they are foot lords. So again, they're not that impactful in the multiplayer battle itself. They're just there to bolster the front line and maybe drop some. Oh wait, you don't have Scopscraft. Just there for melee fighting power. Okay, but even yeah, so 2 pretty damn, pretty weak, like decent melee fighter, but very weak choices in the current meta. So all you can heal is yourself and White Kings or Banshees or Necromancers and Vampiresses, but none of them are actually worth the kind of the regrowth healing power. Like, this makes sense if this item goes into something like, say, a big monster like a Terragais or even Vargolf maybe, but you can't do that. You can only use it on characters. You can only use it on characters which Terragais, White Kings, they don't matter. Not Terragais, just White Kings, Banshees, Necromancers, they don't matter. So yeah, Isabella von Karstein definitely a meme choice. I mean, I'm talking meta right now, but obviously people are trying to meme in this battle. So expecting some Blood Chalice into the White Kings who don't have their innate regeneration, while Isabella von Karstein does have the hunger to keep herself alive passively in the fight. For the rest of the Vampire army, Terragoose indeed, flying in the skies, a front line of shit. Maybe even give Isabella von Karstein a Terragoose mount. That would have made the Blood Chalice much more worthy. Anyways, for the rest of the Vampire Count's army, front line of zombies, second line of grave gods, and some dire pack and dire wolves, plus a single unit of blood knights supporting everything. On the other side of the battlefield, Ronin still going. I think it's Ronin, right? We'll check later. I don't know. The Wood Elves going for a front line of Eternal Gods, a couple units of Swift Shiver Shards to just do some good burst damage. Though there's a lot of chaff that probably will be actually, if the shots go into the Grave Gods, Silver Shields, and Heavy Armor, that would be wasted. But going into the chaff, that just helps them clear out the chaff quicker and eliminate the enemy infantry support. As you can see here, doing some really good damage to the zombies, and then Sisters of the Thorn slamming in with a downhill charge, doing a lot of damage. Leading the army, a Spellweaver of High Magic with Tempest and Apotheosis, doing some good damage already with the Tempest spell, nuking the health down on Isabella for Karstein, followed up with some Swift Shiver shots as well, forcing out a Blood Chalice of Bathory already, just trying to replenish her lost HP. The rest of the Wood Elf army is just sitting back there, since they're not really worried about being shot by the Vampire Count's army after all, right? Eternal Gods front line, second line of Dryads, and third line of more spears. Azrai, one of them, the Azrai spears with on the War Dances, so some very nice melee power there. A great zombie summon dropped right behind the Deepwood Scouts, pinning them down, preventing them from running into their own troops. Eternal Gods and Dryads are desperately trying to screen them out, and a lot of these Deepwood Scouts manage to get out alive, but not unscathed. The Dire Wolves are chasing after the Deepwood Scouts, and because they are trying to run away from the Dire Wolves, that pursuit behavior kicked in, and that really amplifies the Dire Wolves' damage against the units they're pursuing, which is the Deepwood Scouts, nuking them down to roughly half health. Below half health, forcing out an Apotheosis to heal these skirmishers. Now it is a massive pitch engagement, double White Kings duking out against double Forest Dragons, though they are going to struggle against the double Forest Dragons. Isabella herself is in the fight as well, but she doesn't have much armor piercing for a character, so yeah, just the Vampire Count's really struggling to damage the Forest Dragon for now. Zombies are piling in, trying to pin down the Dryads and Eternal Gods, but the Wood Elves will eventually win out in melee, as with their superior melee stats. Deepwood Scouts are holding up pretty well in the back line there, shooting into the Dire Pack. Dire Pack, though, tearing apart those Sisters of the Thorn with their anti-large bonus, and yeah, doing some really nice damage. The problem is just, again, the triple characters really struggle against the heavy armor of the Forest Dragon. I mean, not the heaviest armor, but still. Armor is armor, and they have physical resistance to further mitigate their damage. A little bit of wait, what was that? I swear I saw Master of Beguilement, yeah, earlier, but I think it worn off. Doesn't matter anyways, the dragons are still tanking just fine. The foot character is struggling to deal with the dragons right now, so Isabella just tries to dive the Deepwood Scouts instead, pushing in the Grave Gods as well, trying to drop a zombie summon to pin down the Deepwood Scouts, but a little bit out of position with the summon. The Deepwood Scouts managed to clear that summoning zone before they themselves get balked in melee fight. And finally, the Blood Knights are activated. Terra Goose being forgotten in the back line there. Everyone forgot about the Terra Goose, so it would have done some pretty good work against Double Dragon with the armor piercing and an anti-large. Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Yeah, very unfortunate thing for Rusto right now. Missing out on a lot of that damage output from the Terra guys. This is pretty bad. But anyways, Blood Knights trying to keep pushing and trying to chase down the enemy skirmishers. Terra guys still being forgotten at the back there. Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. For a bunch of time. Sadly he forgot the Goose for a bunch of time. He forgot the Terra Goose for a straight 4 minutes. Damn. That is not a bunch of time. That is a very, very long time. And the whole time the Forest Dragons are running through the enemy, the undead front line unchecked. Isabella is almost down up to her heal cap now, taking a little bit too much damage from enemy firepower and the dragons. And the Terra Goose is still being forgotten there. Finally, the Blood Knights are finally dealt with the enemy skirmishers, managed to circle around and just run down those Deepwood Scouts, but they really need to try and pin down the dragons and get that Terra guys over and fight. No, No! No, the Terra guys! The Terra guys still being forgotten, standing there the whole time. It's 5 minutes in, and the Terra guys is still standing there. Isabella's is almost dead. The Blood Knights are down to half health, being breathed on by a bunch of a stinky forest dragon. They're getting some heals from the Invocation of the Heck. But yeah, finally the Terra guys is moving up, but it's still very far from the battlefield. So I wonder how long it takes to actually matter. But yeah, Isabella continues being pinned by the Tempest. Oh no, the Blood Knight support is almost out. No more anti-large cavalry to pin down the forest dragons, and the Terra guys might have to do a 1v2 against 2 forest dragons, and that's not going to end well for that Terra Goose, believe me. Oh, Blood Knights fading away. They are crumbling. They are crumbling. Yeah, they're crumbling and almost straight up. Oh, nice breath attack from the Terra Goose though. A vertical breath right onto the Spellweaver, doing good damage. The problem is they still have to fight through two forest dragons, and now the War Dancer with Azrai Spears are in there to support them. Oh, that explains why the Blood Knights took so much damage. A lot of anti-large AP. Dragging down those large units. Oh, no, 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 no. Yeah, no, 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 no. The Terra guys now. Stuck on a melee fight against... Oh, wait, what? Maybe this is the one last bit of hope for the Terra Goose. One forest dragon stuck in the mid-air, T-posing, unable to do any attacks. Oh, and yeah, Isabella from Karsan did deliver some nice attack with the Gaze of Nagash, chipping away the health of the Spellweaver. Now the Isabella is trying to pressure off on the Spellweaver. What else sisters? I don't feel so good. Yeah, no, the Terra guys. Oh, the Terra guys! It's now dealing with anti-large spears that does armor piercing and double dragons. And once again, forest dragon stuck in midair, T-posing. Just humping the Terra guys. It's just necrophilia. That must be necrophilia, right? That kind of humping. Yeah, so the necrophilia forest dragon finally finished humping and landed on the ground. And yeah, we'll be moving away from the Terra guys. And on the far side there, Isabella still chasing after the Spellweaver. Spellweaver desperately trying to get away from Isabella, since she is not as good of a combatant as Isabella. But yeah, the Terra Goose is completely isolated, surrounded by spears, Sisters of the Thorn, and double forest dragon. Yeah, you can't fight it. It can't fight double dragon alone. Maybe even, I don't think they can even win a one-on-one fight against the dragon. There's still one very healthy grave god here, duking it out against some spears, just that they won't be of much help in this scenario. The double white king also still duking it out, but without Scapscraft, they can't really deal with a large amount of infantry quickly, which is definitely why you should bring Scapscraft if you're taking double white king. At least you can kill some infantry quickly in that case. But yeah, right now they're just struggling to grind through all the infantry efficiently. They are tanking it out, but they're just tanking. They're not doing enough damage in return. And another Tempest directly damaging the poor Terra Goose, quickly damaging it, draining its health away, while the regeneration trying desperately to keep the Terra Goose topped up. But yeah, it doesn't really matter. Isabella is almost dead, and also flew just close enough to get hit by the Tempest. And was that a breath attack? I didn't really see it, but yeah, anyways, the Terra guys just took a bunch of damage, and it will fade away quickly, and there it goes, leaving Isabella and the double white king on the field. We can just fast forward at this point, as Isabella just keeps running away from the dragon. It won't gonna matter, as the white king on the ground are just gonna get psycho charged by the dragons, one dragon to death. And Isabella keeps staying away, keeps trying to run down some tattered units, dropping down zombie summons, but we can just fast forward now. One of the dragon get blasted, one of the white king got blasted by a breath attack, and then psycho charged to death by the double forest dragon. The other forest dragon also being humped to death by the very horny dragon. Yep, there shall be it. That is the end game. What that one forgotten Terra Goose is really hurts the vampire counts. When the vampire counts have more units, especially when the Blood Knights were still very healthy, they could have tried to gang up onto the forest dragons together and try to get a win with all that anti-large, but because the forest dragon were able to just go on rampage on the front line for so long with the Terra guys and the Blood Knights out of range to reach them, yeah. And also the Blood Knights taking too much damage during the fights. By the time the Terra guys got there were no more support for it to gang up on the Forest Dragons, and that shall be victory for the Wood Elves there. Isabella, as I said, wasn't exactly the greatest combatant, and all that healing onto her is just not quite useful. The White Kings did some really good damage over time, I suppose, ganging up on dragons and grinding through infantry and killing 80 plus infantry on your own. Does have some perks there. Does do some pretty good damage over time, accrue some pretty good value. The Grave Gods traded well into the Dryads and Eternal Gods, but the problem is just they couldn't quite deal with the Double Dragon with only the Blood Knights and then only the Terrorgeist, respectively in early game and late game respectively. Double Dragons did some really good damage overall, but the Sisters of the Fallen, a lot of good cycle charging and the javelin shooting. Really nice work with the cavalry there. Ronan, a really good elf player. I think I've seen him play High Elf more. Oh, but he does play a lot of Wood Elves too, so I can't really say much. But yeah. But Blood Knights did make a pretty good catch with the Deepwood Scouts. Unfortunately, they still managed to earn back their value before they go. So yeah, a bit of a set times for the Undead for sure. Dryads didn't trade well into the Grave Gods. War Dancers, Azrai Spears did some really good damage against all the cavalry and the large entities, especially the Terra guys. So yeah, Ronan is a long-time Wood Elf main. Yeah, I think I've seen him play more Wood Elves, but mostly I just remember him playing a lot of Elves. I don't specifically remember which Elves. So pretty mean High Elf and Dark Elf as well, among others, but definitely Wood Elf main, yeah. Ronan, I can play all Elves, but I main Wood Elf and BM. Okay, yeah, okay, gotcha. I'll remember this next time. But yeah. Let's see. Let's just catch up with the chat. What's OP faction? Corn in my opinion. Corn, really? Okay. Skybrand, you have a biased opinion. We don't count that. Mr. Casual, when DLC? At least after the. Oh no! At least we are still at least two DLCs away, 2 to 3 DLCs away from them. That we need to go through next DLC, which is the Corn one, Corn plus Greenskins plus Ogres, and then we still have to go through with the. Yeah, we still have to go through the. Yeah, we still have to go through with the Slaanesh one, which is probably gonna be a DLC with 2 elf factions, the Dark Elves and High Elves, with Slaanesh, with all that elf fuckery going on with Slaanesh in the background. So it has to be High Elves and Dark Elves with Slaanesh, and then the DLC after might be Undead. That might be it. Which might introduce Nagash or something. I don't know. I was just listening to Human Boy's opinion, really. But yeah. Teutonic Order, I'm up next. Wish me luck, guys. Greenskin Roaster already bloated. Yeah, they've been through a lot of DLCs already, like the Warlock and then the Grum and the Paunch, and then they have some random units being added in, like the spears, the Furrow Wyvern, just a bunch of random stuff being shoved onto their roster. They have a really wide variety of units already, and they don't necessarily need more after this. But yeah, they're a very flexible faction for sure. You can kite and rush with them. Box maybe not as well, but they can bring a lot of different variety. Like you can go melee heavy, you can go skirmish, you can go missile heavy with them. They're just a pretty flexible roster and doesn't have any. They don't have, other than leadership, I wouldn't say they have any glaring weaknesses. So they're pretty damn good. Alright, next up we have Dark Elves versus Wood Elves. Stormrunner versus Babagiani. Is that Teutonic Order? Alright, Stormrunner going for Dark Elves here. What? Kossar Kite. Kiting versus Wood Elves, that is very brave. Yeah, I don't see a lot of Starfire Shafts here. It might be a mistake. Let's see. Let me just slow down a bit. I need to hydrate and then Alright, slightly hydrate, and then we are back on the battlefield. So, army builds. For the Dark Elves, the front line of Black Corsairs, second line of Black Corsairs with handbolls, and then the third line of Doomfire Warlocks. Never seen them. I mean, not that I never seen them, but very rarely see them. But with... Wait, are we on a... We are on a Slaanesh map. With two different elf factions here. How thematic is this? Anyways, these literally we are looking at a Slaanesh army for sure, Slaanesh harvesters. With the Doomfire Warlocks coming in with their Bound, Soul Stealer, and Word of Pain. The other Doomfire Warlocks have a Lesser Doom Bolt and Soul Blight instead. And in the skies we have some Crows of Cain for that mobility. Doomfires are decent into Wood Elf for sure, yeah, with their magic attacks. Yeah, they can trade really well into the Wood Elf army that doesn't have much armor and relies on physical resistance. And Slaanesh Harvesters and Doomfire Warlocks have Frenzy, so they are exceptional at dealing damage as a light cavalry. Anyways, a lot of damage potential from the Dark Elf side, especially the Black Corsairs having relatively heavy armor. They can tank shots pretty well, unless they're Starfire Shafts, but that's a different question here. Leading the army, we have a Supreme Sorceress of Dark Magic with the Arnzippel's Black Horror, basically a little bit of a shadowy tentacle thing. With Chillwind and Bladewind, a lot of AoE damage spells and items, and on the other side of the battlefield, some Glade Riders ready to skirmish with Glade Gods with Hackbane tips. I would say in this matchup, you're better off with Starfire Shafts in case something like Black Corsairs pop up. Hackbane tips are nice with their poison for sure, but you don't need a lot of them. You're pretty much probably better off spending a bunch of money on the Glade God Starfire Shafts and then a front line of Eternal Gods and Dryads, and just keep spamming bodies. Like, if you have enough Eternal Gods and Dryads, and like if you have enough. I think the last time I played this matchup, I was bringing a 20 stack Wood Elf army with a bunch of Starfire Shafts, Dryad, and a Dryad and Eternal God frontline, plus 4 more units of Glade Riders with spears, just to overwhelm the Dark Elf with bodies. Because with the Starfire Shafts, you can shoot the Black Corsairs, and then you have the Dryads and Glade Gods screening the enemy forces, just pinning them down, buying more time for your Starfire Shafts to shoot. Yeah, but yeah, anyways, let's just start the battle here. Glade Lord on a stack, yeah, just delivering some good armor piercing damage and Helm of Discord as well. But I don't know how good Helm of Discord will be useful if you're supporting the Wild Hunters of Kurnos and Wild Riders. Right now, Glade Riders are doing some good skirmishing damage against the enemy Black Corsairs alongside fire support of the Glade Gods. Glade Gods will be pulling back up, wasting a little bit of time not shooting, since they're just maneuvering around the battlefield. Glade Gods clashing into Black Corsairs, and they will get slaughtered by the anti-infantry bonus, which is why you need Starfire Shafts to really work through their HP. Because right now you can't really, Wood Elves can't really trade effectively into Black Corsairs in terms of sheer melee infantry, unless you're bringing Blade Singers, but even then you're still going to take a lot of damage. Wild Riders are pushing up, Glade Riders pushing up, skirmishing down the Dark Riders, Wild Riders pushing up, trying to chase after the Black Corsairs, but they did drop the order, unfortunately, right at the last second of the charge. The Glade Captain managed to charge in, but the Wild Riders got charged from the rear by the Dark Riders and get shot by the Black Corsairs, and they're quickly getting nuked down. Very nicely done with at least with the Glade Riders. They're charging into the rear of the Dark Riders and will be pushing them back. But yeah, in the front line, Glade Riders, Eternal Gods are getting slaughtered by Black Corsairs, and Crows of Cain driving into the back of the Eternal Gods with shields and breaking them off. Black Corsairs firing into the lightly armored Wood Elf units, doing some pretty nice damage, and the Glade Gods are still trying to hold on. A nice Chillwind going through 2 units of Wood Elf units, doing some really nice damage, especially against the Glade God. And yeah, things are not looking too hot for the Wood Elves already, as their mobility are faltering pretty hard. On the far side there, Glade Captain, they managed to break off the one unit of Black Corsairs, but they also lost a Wild Rider, so that was not a worthy trade, since Wild Hunt Riders are way more expensive than Black Corsairs. Over here, Wild Hunters of Kronos recharging into a bunch of Slaanesh of Harvesters. They should do some good damage on impact, but seems like they're really struggling for now, especially a Soul Stealer coming in to drain down all the health of the Wood Elf units, doing some pretty nice damage and keeping those Doomfire Warlocks topped up, just giving them at least a little bit of health back and help them stay in battle for a little bit more. 2 Doomfire Warlocks against 1 Wild Riders, definitely a win for the Dark Elves. And then over here on the front line, Black Corsairs managed to push into the Glade Gods and will be slicing and dicing these archers in melee combat. Wild Hunters of Kronos continues to duke it out against the Slaanesh Harvesters, but with the Crows of Cain recharging them, they will be finished off as well. On the far side there, the Black Corsairs with handbolts are still fighting, but their shots have managed to whittle down most of these Wood Elf mobility. So overall, the Wood Elf forces are dwindling pretty fast as they are taking more and more damage against enemy skirmishers or just being out-traded in melee. With all that Doomfire Warlock's magic damage, oh, nice chill win. Once again, just doesn't really do a lot of kills, mostly HP damage, but that is just weakening all that Wood Elf forces, making them easier to be killed in melee by these tattered Black Corsairs. And yeah, 1 unit of Glade God breaks and shatters. Glade Lord here being surrounded by the Crows of Cain, who got their melee stats nuked by the Helm of Discord. But that doesn't really matter at this point, because the Glade Lord isn't supporting any bit of his army, while the Wood Elf forces are scattered all over the map, being hunted down either by enemy skirmishers or by enemy superior mobility. These 2 units of Doomfire Warlocks charging around the battlefield, slamming into these Glade Warriors, dropping a Soul Blight onto them as well. And the great damage potential of the Slaanesh Harvesters and the Doomfire Warlocks managed to dish out some massive damage into 1 unit of the Glade Rider, dropping in a Lesser Doombolt as well, doing some pretty nice damage. Another Blade Wind coming in as well, absolutely destroying these poor Glade Riders with that AoE damage. And yeah, that is probably going to be army losses soon, as the Glade Riders here are getting shot up pretty badly by the Black Corsairs, Glade Lord and Glade Captain taking more and more damage in this melee attrition fight, especially when the Crows of Cain have passive healing available to them, keeping them in the fight longer than normal Harpies would. And yeah, now the Glade Lord and the Glade Captain trying to tank it out, but unfortunately that is just not going to happen, as they get shot to death, or shot to army losses by the hand bows. Alright. That is it. A pretty good game from the... Oh, wow, the Doomfire Warlocks. Holy shit, the Slaanesh Harvesters. What the fuck did you do? I mean, they did kill a ton of Wild Riders, Glade Guards, and Glade Riders and whatnot, so did a lot of damage. Also, the Soul Stealer getting a 3-for-1 there, draining 2 Wild Riders, one of them the Wild Hunters of Kronos, and the Glade Lord as well, keeping them topped up with the HP replenishment, doing some really nice stuff. So yeah, GG to both players. I might actually go back into the game and just check out what the hell did the Slaanesh Harvesters did in the game. On the other side, for the Wood Elves, the Glade Lord is a pretty good combatant, just that unfortunately the rest of the army doesn't quite perform well against the pure Black Corsair rush. I mean, the Black Corsair frontline for sure pummeled the poor Eternal Gods, but the Wild Hunters of Kronos did well. Their anti-large magic attacks still do well into the Doomfire Warlocks and did some good damage. Good damage indeed. Just that they took too much shots from enemy crossbows, and by the time they got into the fight against the Doomfire Warlocks, they're a little bit too tattered to carry the game. The Glade Riders did some good damage because they do have Hackbane. Do they have Hackbane tips? Yeah, they don't have Hackbane tips, but they are still shooting up some light armored units, so get some good damage value overall. Glade Gods, though, they're trying to stand their ground, but without anything to hold back the Black Corsairs, they just got slaughtered in melee. Wait, there's a great Stag Knight. Oh. That is probably where the value from the... Yeah, that's probably where all the value from the Slaanesh Harvesters come from. Let me just quickly jump into there and check it out. I totally missed out on the Great Stag Knights. Sometimes you see the unit flag, and since the Great Stag Knights share the same logo as regular Wild Riders, I just discounted them, which is a bit of a mistake on my end. But yeah, oh, there is the Great Stag Knights over here. Yeah, they probably got harvested by the Slaanesh harvester. That's probably what happened. We'll speedrun this. Yep, that's exactly what's gonna happen, I feel like. Yeah. Slaanesh harvesters and the Doomfire warlocks are coming in. Great Stag Knights are trying to pull back, but RPs are trying to catch on to the Hunters of Kronos. Oh no! Great Stag Knights are slightly slower than Doomfire Warlocks. Yeah, two speed slower, and on top of that, the Doomfire Warlocks can use that charge acceleration to catch up, so they might just be able to deliver. Oh, yep, a momentary stop from the Great Stag Knights, and the Great Stag Knights are being caught in the fight. Even the Glade Lord coming in to help is not enough to save them, as they're getting absolutely annihilated. Word of Pain dropping their Soul Blight and Word of Pain to drop their melee stats as well. Dropping their armor with Soul Blight and weapon damage from Soul Blight, and then Word of Pain to nuke their melee attack stats, and they can't actually dish much damage back against Doomfire Warlocks. And yeah, while Hunters of Kronos managed to get a rear charge and keep chasing down some of these Doomfire Warlocks, but then here comes the Slaanesh Harvester to drop in and countercharge the Wild Hunters of Kronos and finish them off. Yeah. GG from both players for sure, but yeah, just that unfortunately the Dark Elf frontline traded too well into the Wood Elf frontline, and Wood Elves don't really have enough resources to stop them and shut down those Black Aquaseers. Need tech to take the underused Lore of Dark spells. Yeah, I don't think I've seen much non-Soul Stealer Lore of Dark Magic recently, but also I haven't seen much Dark Elves recently, so a good game for sure. Now, one final game for the day, one final game for the replay section, and yeah, final game for the stream. This is gonna be Borain versus Stormrunner, Chaos Dwarf versus Dark Elves. Two originally order races corrupted by the powers of chaos. Let's see what happens here. Now, so for the army build, for the Chaos Dwarfs of front line, once again, a really sturdy backbone with a bunch of chaff, a bunch of goblin laborers surrounding Infernal Iron Swan and Blazing Beards of Bazarak, and then, yeah, no more infantry, just a bunch of mobility, Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders with spears, and some Bull Center Renders with no great weapons, just a regular axe and shield variant. And then the Demon's Tongue for some nice terror. Yeah, nice terror. And, shit. Please don't crash. Game? What the fuck? Alright, cool. I don't know what the fuck just happened there. That was a pretty scary stutter. But yeah, anyways, yeah, the Demon's Tongue, and then leading the army we have a Sorcerer Prophet of Fire with a Burning Hand and Cascading Fire Cloak. On the other side of the battlefield, Harpies and Dark Riders with shields. On the front line, Bleak Swords, more Harpies, and we haven't seen you in a while, lady. Snake Lady, Bloodwreck Medusa, ready to shoot some Chaos Dwarfs with the Eye Laser. Other than that, let's see, we have some Cold One Dread Knights in the forest, ready to pounce onto enemy armored targets and hack them down with their maces. That's it for the army builds. Oh wait, there's also a Sorceress of Death with Spirit Leech and Purple Son of Zerus trying to get some AoE damage done to those Chaos Dwarf infantry, I suppose. Also the Arnzippel's Black Horror. But yeah, that's it for the army builds. Now let's just focus on the battle. As the Medusa starts sniping some Infernal Iron Sworn, Bleak Swords should trade well into the Goblin Laborers, but unfortunately there are some explosions on the way. And also Burning Head too. Absolutely obliterating these Bleak Swords while also doing some friendly fire to the Goblin Laborers, but honestly, all that damage is definitely worth it onto the more expensive Bleak Swords. Now the Infernal Iron Swan also positioning for a volley of explosions, and that is gonna be a That's a yeah, that's a third unit of Bleak Swords almost gone. On the flank there, Dark Riders are getting chopped down by both Center Renders and Hobgoblin Spear Raiders. Now Koan Dread Knights are charging in, but they don't have that anti-large of a Koan Knight, so they don't actually trade that good into this engagement, especially when both Center Renders are buffed up by the Cascading Fire Cloak to get the extra melee defense. Over here, Crows of Cain trying to disrupt the Demon's Tongue, but absolutely annihilated in the process. And when there's also a Sorcerer Prophet support on the far side there, the Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders are dispatching some Dark Riders, and now we'll be reinforcing this fight on the right flank of the Chaos Dwarf formations as the Dread Knights are taking massive losses, being absolutely obliterated by those Bull Enders and the Demon's Tongue. Now the Murderous Prowess is active, but how much is it gonna do? We shall see. Oh, there's a couple Great Sword Shades I totally missed out there. But now the Bull Enders and Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders spotted them and will be swarming them in a melee combat. Meaning that at least one of these Shades will be out of commission soon, taking massive shock damage from the charge. Now, let's see. Infernal Iron Sworn, these ones are tattered, but they're still fighting, dropping in some explosions to weaken down the Bleak Swords, and the Demon's Tongue still very much healthy. Both Center Enders supporting that Sorcerer Prophet of Fire, while the second unit of Koan Dread Knights is... the first unit of Koan Dread Knights got nuked, and then the second unit of Koan Dread Knights still trying to hang on, just that they're taking more and more damage in the process, also being burnt by the Demon's Tongue. Their leadership is getting a little bit wavery. They're getting a little bit fragile at this moment. One of the Shade has been actually managed to repel the Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders. No, that is quite impressive there. They do have pretty decent melee stats with 40 attack, 34 defense. Unfortunately though, the Bull Enders are still holding strong and doing more and more damage as time goes by. The Blood Wreck Medusa, she has been doing some pretty good damage actually against the enemy Chaos Dwarf infantry. I suppose some of these Infernal Iron Sworn must have taken quite a bit of damage. The problem is that she is now dragged into melee combat by a bunch of Blazing Beards and the Sorcerer Prophet of Fire on the Great Tauros itself. So yeah, things are looking indeed quite grim for the Dark Elves there, still having a massive monster to deal with, but at least they managed to secure their Great Sword Shades, who can possibly use that AP damage to shoot down the Demon's Tongue and the Sorcerer Prophet of Fire. The question is, can they keep those Shades alive long enough, as more and more Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders are flooding in to try and shut down those Shades. These Shades are now holding firm for now, since they have dispatched the pursuers. But there is indeed a Sorcerer Prophet of Fire coming in to ready and threatening death and fiery death on these Great Swords Shades. A Burning Hand right on top of the Great Swords Shades, and they will soon be routed by that Burned Effect Leadership debuff and the burst damage coming in from the breath attack. Even if those are not enough, well, the Sorcerer Prophet of Fire can just dive in with a Terror Rout. And there goes one of the Shade. The other Shade is trying to hold their ground, but the Demon's Tongue is coming in, burning, incinerating these poor Shades, and the Sorcerer Prophet of Fire also dive bombing them in a melee fight. Spirit Leech is being dumped onto the Demon's Tongue, but that might just be too little too late here, as the Dark Elves are running out of melee units. And, well, they're just running out of units in general, to be fair. Medusa continues to shoot, getting some good damage done. But there are no more Dread Knights on the field. Harpies continues to chase down the Bull Enders. Definitely a good choice here. But the Medusa really needs to just get the hell out of there and try to just keep kiting with her shots. Okay, here comes the scroll, the black horror thingy. But a lot of the Blazing Beards just didn't take much damage in the process. Only 33% of armor piercing damage. Yeah, it's not great against armored targets like the Blazing Beards or Infernal Iron Sworn for sure. More Spirit Leech onto the Demon's Tongue here, just trying to drain down the health of the Demon's Tongue, and perhaps the Blood Wreck Medusa can turn around and fire. But looks like the Blood Wreck Medusa is a little bit busy right now, being rammed by a very angry flying cow. So the Medusa will try to go in for a counter charge and hack down the Demon's Tongue close and personal. The problem is that now she is in between a rock and a hard place. sandwiched by a very tough Demon's Tongue and bumped by a mighty Great Tauros. And there goes the Bloodwreck Medusa, getting absolutely shredded in melee combat. There are some regrouped shades on the far side here. Now firing in, trying to do some damage to the Demon's Tongue, but without any melee presence, the Demon's Tongue is free to just roll over and run through these shades in melee, or just burn them down with the flamethrower. That works too. Shades are shooting in point blank, doing some great damage, great burst damage for sure, but just the Demon's Tongue managed to deliver a charge just in time, running through the shades with great swords, and the other one will also get burned by the burning head, getting singed quite a bit. Not a lot of damage, but that is enough to apply the burn effect. And then it as soon as the Sorcerer Prophet jump into battle with these guys, oh, the Shades actually 169 kills. You know, I don't think you ever see that many kills on a Shade unit in general, unless you're in campaign. They did a lot of melee kills against Hobgoblin with Raiders, but yeah. Now they're just out of HP, out of leadership. They managed to regroup, but I doubt how much they can do to pull back the game, as they still need to kill all the Blazing Beards, Bull Santarenders, not Bull Santarenders, the Infernal Ironsworn, and the Great Tauros, with a Sorcerer Prophet mounted on top. Now the Sorcerer Prophet dives onto the Shades, Terror out, and that will be the last actual damage dealer unit of the Dark Elf army. And Dark Elves will be throwing in a towel. And yeah, that is it for today's battles, including the replay section. The Shades did some really good damage overall, just not quite enough to carry the game. The Dread Knights are a disappointing unit, so not much to say about them. Without their anti-large, they can't even trade efficiently into the Bull Santarenders, and their AP is mostly wasted into the lightly armored Bull Santarenders and Hobgoblins. RPs did really meh. None of these units are what they're supposed to fight. They're supposed to disrupt missile units, but what happens when there are no missile units? So, yeah, they can't really do crap. Bloodwreck Medusa getting some really good damage, shooting the Infernal Ironsworn and pretty much any infantry and even some cavalry, I believe. And yeah, the Death Magic Sorceress did some good damage with the Spirit Leech, but nothing too substantial. Did some good damage overall, but nothing game-changing indeed. Try to go for some melee fights as well, but yeah. As for the other side of the battlefield, the Chaos Dwarf, Sorcerer Prophet of Fire, did some really solid work with that Burning Head and charging around, dropping those breath attacks, and the Demon's Tongue running through those Dark Elf units with the Flamethrower and the mass and speed of this Demon Engine, doing some really solid work. Explosives from the Blazing Beards, absolutely ragdolls, Bleak Swords, thinning out that infantry support for the Dark Elves, allowing the mobility, especially the Demon's Tongue and the Sorcerer Prophet of Fire, to operate a lot more efficiently. And the Bull Santarenders, with their decent melee stats, since they do have the shield and have decent melee defense, they traded well into the Dread Knights and get some pretty good value as well. And yeah, that is it for today. Thank you everyone for playing in the tournament and watching the stream. I hope you all had fun, whether you're playing or watching the tournament, getting some nice multiplayer content today. And congratulations to Ronin for winning with the Wood Elves in the finals there. A very spectacular performance indeed, and a good game, a very good fight put up by Borain with the Chaos Dwarf as well. Two low-tier factions who struggle quite a bit in the current meta, yet both of them managed to get into the finals. And they will be subjected to a ban next time we have a Wednesday Faction Wars. And yeah, that is it for today. Thank you very much for everyone for playing and checking out the stream. And I will see you in the next one. Tactical Lich signing out.